Hello, it is Jack Gill and welcome to Mundo Sporto. This is the live UEFA Champions League round of 16 second leg between Juventus and Porto. Juventus are having a bit of an off season by their standards. I'll talk about that in a moment. Of course, the score from the first leg is 2-1 in favour of Porto. So before I got the game, it's 10 minutes till kickoff. And here's a reminder of today's sponsors, OneFootball. So remember, if you haven't downloaded that app already,
this video
download.
is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is the only football app you need to follow thousands of teams, hundreds of leagues and competitions worldwide. It is packed with all the latest news, videos, fixtures, scores, stats, and key dates, and it personalizes the content that you want. It allows you to put your favorite team in, your favorite leagues, the fixtures you want to follow. It is an incredible app that I use, all my friends use, my family use it, everyone I know uses OneFootball. And if you're not using it yet, you need to go and download it.
Well, there you have it. Download OneFootball. Without them, this video wouldn't be able to happen. So thank you very much to OneFootball. And remember to download that app. They have helped me very much so with the lineups and everything and how these sides will set up for today. Remember to download that app. But as I say, before the game starts in just under 10 minutes now, let's have a look at what happened in that first leg and what's going on for these sides this season. So Porto crucially lead 2-1 going into the game. Juventus, though, got that crucial away goal, a 1-0 win for them tonight in Turin would be enough to see them through. Early goals at the start of each half from Porto from Mehdi Taremi. That was following a mistake from Bentancur for Juventus, who tried a pass back, didn't see that Taremi was just behind him, and Taremi opened the score in that day. And Musa Marega also scored either side early on in each half. And then Juventus, the goal came from Chiesa, who became Juventus, the first Juventus player to score a Champions League knockout game since Blaise Matuidi in 2018. That is not Cristiano Ronaldo. So a bit of a mad stat for you there. Obviously, the Juventus manager, Andrea Pirlo, is he under threat? Is his job under threat? They're currently third in the league, having won Serie A 9 years on the bounce prior to this season. They're 10 points behind Inter, albeit Juventus have a game in hand. Inter, of course, looking to win their first Serie A title since 2009-2010 under they're under of course Conte. We saw it at Chelsea a few years ago. As for Porto, they're second in Primeira Liga. They are also 10 points behind their league leaders, which are Sporting Lisbon. Remember, Marco Grujic is there on loan. But yes, also in the first tie, Chiellini went off injured for Juventus, and Porto managed to keep Cristiano Ronaldo quiet. But it's very, very quiet, very hard to do that for 2 games and over a 2-legged tie. Will they be able to do it today? I've just listened to the Porto manager on BT Sport, who said that if they have to play for a 0-0 today to see them through, that is exactly what they'll do. They have a decent defensive form in Europe. But some little stats from that first leg. Porto secured their first ever competitive victory against Juventus in the European competition. They failed to win any of them before that. They've drawn 1 and lost 4. And Juventus have now lost 3 of their last 4 Champions League knockout matches, only winning 1. So that's as many as their previous 14 games combined. So Juventus not having the best of time of it at the moment. And also in that first leg, Taremi's goal was the quickest ever scored in the Champions League since David Alaba's for Bayern against Juventus in April 2013, and that goal was after 24 seconds. But before I get into your comments with your predictions for this game, let me just show you the 2 lineups for tonight. So in goal, For Juventus, we have Szczesny. The back sees Sandro, Demiral, Bonucci, and Quadrado. Remember, Chiellini is injured. And then you've got Ramsey, Rabiot, and Arthur, and Chiesa, Morata, and Ronaldo. That is the Juventus side. And for Porto, we have Marquezin in goal. Sanusi, Pepe, Mbeba, Janko, and then Corona, Oliveira, Uribe, Otavia, and Taremi and Marega. That is the Porto side. So they are the two lineups for today's game. I'm going to get into the comments in a moment. The Juventus lineup, I'm going to just have at the bottom there for you lot before the subs will follow. And I'll keep track of this game. My score prediction for today, I am going with a 3-1 win for Juventus. That is what I'm going with. I'm hoping that there's goals in this one. I really am. But let me have a look at everything. Anfield agenda. Cheers, guys. Rating my pronunciations. I think I went full David Moyes with that one, or Jadon Sancho with what we've seen recently. Mark Caldwell praising the graphics. Thank you. That was very much Connor. I don't think they'll both be lining in a 4-4-2, but it was quickly put together before this video, before coming live. And, you know, I wanted something on there. So, you know, two foreign sides, I thought you lot would want to see, you know, maybe make a note of the player numbers and stuff, which is why I'll try and keep the banners throughout the game at the bottom. Let's have a look. Noah Bryan saying, does anyone know how bad Juve were in the first leg? Pretty poor from what I've heard. They, you know, Ronaldo was kept quiet in his homeland, and it was a good performance from Porto, who were defensively sound. Also, as I said, it was a Bentancur mistake for the opening goal for Porto. So, you know, Juventus have it all to do in the second leg. But remember, a 1-0 win will be enough for Juventus to see them through on away goals this evening. Samira says, hey, Jack, I celebrated my birthday this weekend. Happy birthday for this weekend, Samira. People asking me what my score prediction is. I've just said 3-1. There's a few score predictions here. Mark Caldwell predicts that Porto will knock Juve out. Brain also agrees. He says Porto will win 2-1. Samira agreeing also, suggesting that Porto will win 1-0. Cube is expecting extra time this evening, maybe even penalties, because he predicts a 2-1 Juventus win on the night, just as I am seeing the sides come out of the tunnel. So it won't be long before kickoff. And hopefully we are in for a very good game this evening. I for one am looking forward to it. If you can in the chat, keep me posted on what is going on in that Dortmund Sevilla game, in the Championship, in League One. Let me know what other scores are during this game, and we'll just have a good chat like we always do. We'll do a watch along, but we'll have a good chat and we'll enjoy the game no matter what. What is the score, says Bailey? It's not even kicked off yet, mate. So that's a little fun fact for you there. The game is not underway yet, but it will be in the next 2 minutes, according to my watch anyway. But let me just get everything ready on my phone for kickoff, as I can hear that beautiful noise of the Champions League theme tune that hopefully, as Liverpool fan, will be hearing more this season, as what looks like our best chance of getting Champions League football next season is via winning the Champions League. Liam Barry also pointing out that I am quite often slightly behind. You know, I'm a student, so I don't get Sky and BT Live. I have to watch it with a slight, 30-second to a minute delay. So if you could please not post the scoreline in the chat if you are watching at the same time as seeing me. But yes, I am very slightly behind. It shouldn't make too much of a difference, though. As far as I'm concerned, anyway, it should be all right. To be fair. So, yep, the Juventus lineup is along the bottom of the screen right now, and I'll put the Porto one too. So there you go. I'll keep changing it throughout the game. On the bench for Juventus this evening is Kalevski, Di Pardo, Bernardeschi, De Ligt, who obviously made that big move from Ajax to Juventus, but hasn't hit the ground running too well so far in the early days of his Juventus career. But remember, he is still very, very young. Pinsoglio, McKennie, who has just made his move to Juventus permanent, I believe. Frabotta, Fagioli, Chiellini, who is back from that injury that he picked up in the first leg, but only fit enough for the bench today, Dragusin and Gianluigi Buffon. And then the Porto subs are Sar Vieira, Ivanilson, Leitz, Conceição, Diaz, Nanu, Martinez, Anderson, Grujic, the two loanies there. Felipe Anderson, obviously from West Ham, Marco Grujic from Liverpool, Costa and Loom. So that is the two sides for this one. And I am really looking forward to it, and I hope you lot are too. It should be a good game that we have in store for us here today. So yes, fingers crossed. It is a good game. Porto, of course, crucially lead 2-1 from the first leg. And we are ready. We are about to kick off. It will be Aaron Ramsey who gets us underway for this one. They're just warming up, getting ready. I don't know what they're waiting for, but it won't be long before we're underway here. Mark Caldwell asking how Ramsey is still a Juventus player. It's an interesting one. They have an abundance of central midfielders, don't they? Arguably one of the best of all time of Juventus, and in Europe, Andrea Pirlo is currently their manager. But yeah, Aaron Ramsey, one of their many what I'd call average central midfielders, to be honest with you. But I'm tuning into this game expecting a Ronaldo show tonight. I said 3-1 to Juventus is what I think it'll be tonight. I think Ronaldo will get a hat-trick. And we are underway. It was Ramsey that got us underway. And he finds Demiral, and we are underway. Here he is, Demiral at the back to Bonucci. And Bonucci over to the left-hand side where Alexandro is. Oh, shite. I have forgotten the clock again. But, let's go. There we go. It's a bit delayed, but we've got it. We've got it underway. It wasn't too late, I hope. But we are underway here. And an early offside. Porto have a free kick. And the goalkeeper kicks it long. But it runs all the way to Szczesny, who has the ball at his feet in the Juventus box, and he finds Bonucci at the back. Let me know in the comments what you think, how you think this game's going to go. Keep your score predictions coming in as the ball goes long over to Chiesa on that left-hand side for Juve, but it overruns out for a Porto throw-in. And we can see now that face of the very suave Andrea Pirlo on the sideline for Porto, but Marega is in behind here. Can Porto get a goal early on here to really shock Juve, and the ball is put into the box towards Otavio. It's not cleared by Juve, and it's hit just wide by Uribe. And early warning signs there for Juventus that, like the first leg, Porto aren't going to be a pushover in this one. As they get the first shots of the game, about 22 yards out is Uribe when he hit that one. As Bentancur now has the ball, finding his goalkeeper Szczesny, whose clearance isn't a good one, and Porto have retained possession. Ramsey wins the header in the air, and here is Cuadrado now, the former Chelsea player, of course. Here is Juan Cuadrado, who slaloms the slide challenge and goes backwards towards Bonucci. And now it's Alexandro. What have you lot made of the early stages here? That early warning sign for Juventus as Ronaldo whips a cross in. Pepe, formerly of Real Madrid, of course, heads that away. Bonucci wins the header. Finds Arabio. Arabio finds Arthur, who goes over to the right-hand side where Cuadrado is. Cuadrado whips across in towards Ronaldo. And what a save that is. Marcusson making a really important save there from the head of Cristiano Ronaldo. He was unmarked. He rose like he does so well, like a salmon. Got his head to it. A strong, powerful header, but it was a very strong glove by Marcusson to deny Ronaldo. And how big of a chance will that turn out to be for Juventus? Aaron Ramsey on the ball now for Juve. Back over to the right-hand side where Cuadrado is. Back to Demiral for Juventus. Bonucci. Here is Alexandro on the left-hand side. Skips past Marega and goes to Chiesa. Chiesa inside to Arthur. Arthur finds Cristiano Ronaldo, who's the man that many will be watching tonight, and many Juventus fans will hold their hopes in his hands to turn this tie around as Alexandro heads towards Morata. And it is well done by Janko and cleared by him in the end. Here is Bonucci again as Juventus want to try again. Chiesa looks to whip a low crossing, but it's dealt with by Porto and Otavio, who is one of the Porto danger men, who clears it away. But Porto camped in their own half right now as Cuadrado has the ball for Juventus, and now it's Rabiot. Rabiot to Bonucci. Bonucci roaming forwards with a ball, goes left to Alexandro. Alexandro whips another cross in towards Ronaldo, but Pepe is there once again, and it goes out for a Real Madrid throw. A Juventus throw, sorry. Yuvraj saying his prediction is 3-1 going into this game. Visca Barca says Porto going to do a 4-0. Interesting. Will's quite rightly pointing that we were ready for a C from CR7. Then we were expecting a goal. You know, when you see Ronaldo in an unmarked position like that with a header where he can rise like that, you expect one thing and one thing only. But here are Porto on the counter after Juventus gave the ball away. Marega skips past Szczesny, but Szczesny just about did enough and has earned Juventus a goal kick. But there have been warning signs in this early 5 minutes as Porto have broke through on a couple of occasions and had a couple of chances. That Juventus defence isn't looking the strongest right now, but I'm just seeing that back, and it's actually Morata, with the header, not Ronaldo, as I initially thought. Perhaps that's why we haven't seen Juventus break the deadlock. But yeah, it was Morata who got his head to it, the number 9 for Juventus. And it was a strong, strong save. But yeah, it was Morata whose header was denied by the Porto goalkeeper and not Ronaldo. As I say, if it was Ronaldo, I was very surprised at the outcome of that. So I'm glad to see that it was actually Morata. But Porto on the ball now, and there's a way in behind here, and the ball is squared, and it's a very important block in the end by Bonucci, and then the bar is struck. Taremi with 2 early chances for Porto there, a double chance for him. It started with Sanisu skipping past Cuadrado and squaring the ball. The initial shot by Taremi was blocked by Bonucci, but then Taremi went again, and his header was powered into the crossbar. And we've had a couple of early chances for each side here. And it looks like we're going to have a good game on our hands. But Porto there, striking the crossbar. Taremi, who scored early on in the first leg, he is denied by the crossbar. And Juventus getting early warning signs from Porto, who have started this game very strongly. Juventus, though, have had their chances themselves. That Morata header, Morata really should have done better with it. It was a great save, though, by Marcus Senna. Very strong glove. But here is Oliveira, Porto's strongest man, in my opinion. From an attacking point of view, he leads the press very well from Porto. He will be a key man for them this evening. But Juventus have regained the ball, and it's Aaron Ramsey, Cuadrado. They can breathe a sigh of relief. It's still 0-0 after Porto and Taremi, who scored early on in the first leg, was denied by the crossbar initially by Bonucci with a block, but his second opportunity was powerfully headed off the bar. And we're 8 minutes in here, well, 7.5 minutes, nearly 8 into this game in Turin, and it is still Juventus 0, Porto 0. And Porto, of course, lead 2-1 from that first leg in Porto, where goals just either side of half-time for Porto gave them a commanding lead, and Chiesa scored the away goal for Juve as Alexandro whips across him from the left now. It comes back out to Arthur, who Juventus signed in that swap deal with Barcelona, of course, as Cuadrado goes now over to Cristiano Ronaldo, who we all have our eye on this evening. And Cristiano Ronaldo wins a free kick conceded by Uribe. Let's have a look at these comments. Visca Barca, can't believe that's a free kick. Yeah, it does look incredibly soft. but I do think it's a free kick. He was slightly caught on his Achilles there. Bailey Coates says, Bailey Coates says, wait, Porto are good. Yeah, they look decent. They look very decent here in the early stages. I didn't get to see the first leg. I was covering the City. I think it was the City-Everton game at that point. Yeah, it was. But, you know, I've watched the highlights back and Porto did very, very well and took a 2-1 lead into this one. Cuadrado whips the cross in and it's won by the header of Aaron Ramsey, who heads over the bar. But what an exciting 9 minutes we've had here. Chances for both sides, chances at either end. Visca Barca telling me that Sevilla are dominating so far in the Sevilla Dortmund game. It's a 3-2 advantage to Dortmund going into that one, I believe. Let's have a look. Yuvraj says, yeah, it's not Man City. It will be a good game. And yeah, I'm hoping so. If the game is how we've started in these early stages in this opening 10 minutes, if it's like this for the rest of the game, we've got a game on our hands. Porto, as I said, going into the game, their manager, or it was either their manager or their chairman before the game, was talking about how if they need to play for a 0-0 tonight, they will. But we've seen a couple of strong counters from them and chances for Marega, Taremi. They've both had strong chances. Of course, it fell to Urabi for a strike from 22 yards before as well. I can just see the anger from Cristiano Ronaldo as Chiesa has been caught offside there, and he is a good 2 yards off there. And you can tell by the Portugueseman, Cristiano Ronaldo, that he is annoyed that Chiesa couldn't stay on side there. But I'm just seeing that chance back now for Porto. You know, it was a foul, but I think, I think Sanusi did really well to regain, possession of the ball and to go on and square it to Taremi, who did well with his header, but couldn't quite put Porto ahead here on the night. Firstly, his shot hit Bonucci. Secondly, it thundered against the bar. And here is Sanusi with the throw-in for Porto again. Porto win yet another throw-in, which will be taken once again by the number 12, Sanusi, Zaidi Sanusi. And he looks for a long throw, and it is a very long throw into the area, headed away by Rabio, and then it's thundered back towards goal by Otavio, but it's a long way wide, that one. But as I'm saying, I thought before the game we might see a very defensive performance from Porto, but they're a threat in front of goal too. We're talking about Felipe Anderson and Marco Grujic, who have come to Porto on loan from the Premier League, but currently can't get in the side, and you can see why. They look good here in the early stages. And Juventus haven't looked too strong at the back. Let's be very honest there. I think there have been a couple of times where Porto have got past them far too easily, but there have been warning signs from Porto, who look strong here in the early stages. And let me go to a few of your comments now to see what you think of the game. A lot of people saying hi. Welcome to everyone in the chat. People coming now. I assume we'll get more throughout this as well, coming from Craig's stream on Anfield Agenda. My prediction is 3-1. I think Ronaldo will score a hat-trick for Juventus. But, I do think Porto will score, and I do think they'll score first. And they look to be proving me right with how they've started this game. They look very good. Here's Alexandro on the left-hand side for Juve now. Now Rabio. Rabio inside to Arthur, who's just passes the halfway line and whips a ball forwards to the right-hand side where Cuadrado is. Cuadrado to Aaron Ramsey, but it's really well defended by Pepe. Now Otavio. Pepe again. Pepe forwards to Otavio, who gets it under control and smashes it upfield. It enters the Juve half, but only Marega's up there, and it'll easily run for Alexandro to regain possession for Juventus. And here is Arthur, who finds Cristiano Ronaldo with the ball forwards. Ronaldo is dispossessed by Marega, and the ball goes back to Marcasen in the Porto goal, who now has it in his hands after clearing the ball forwards, and then the ball was pumped back up to him. Just under 15 minutes gone here in Turin. Both sides having opportunities. There was that early header from Morata where he really should have done better with it. He found himself free. Marcasan did well to get a glove to it. And then Porto have had their chances too through Taremi, who headed against the bar. Otavio had a good chance from 22 yards out that went just wide of the mark. And Marega broke free and nearly rounded Szczesny too at one stage. So we've had chances here in the first 15 minutes in Turin. As Arthur's on the ball now for Juventus, Alexandro passes it just past the halfway line to Ronaldo, who looks to try and beat Marega before going back to Alexandro. And now it's Bonucci who finds Demiral alongside him at the back for Juventus tonight. As I say, Chiellini not quite fit enough to start for Juve. Here's Aaron Ramsey to Arthur. Arthur forwards to Juan Cuadrado. Juan Cuadrado on this right-hand side now. Looks to skip past Otavio, but Otavio does really well to get a foot in. And Rabiot knocks it out for a Porto throw-in. So let's have a look. Any interesting comments from you lot right now? Easy Scotty 99 asking what the score is on aggregate. Porto lead this one 2-1. A 2-1 win in Portugal was crucial for them, really. But the away goal for Juventus means that a 1-0 win for them in Turin tonight would be enough. People talking about a new nickname that Craig has given me. Please, no. Stop that. I've had plenty of good predictions, but that one was not one of those. And here is Sanusi, who looks for Otavio, but passes the ball straight out of play for a Juventus throw deep inside the Porto half. It will be taken on this right-hand side. Cuadrado throws it back inside the Juve half to Demiral, who finds Bonucci. Here is Rabiot to Cuadrado, back to Bonucci. Porto in very much a defensive shape now, but they're pressing Juventus high. We've seen their threat on the counter in this early stages. Juvraj has changed the prediction to a 1-1 as Juventus hit it long and it runs into the hands of the Porto goalkeeper. But a clap from Morata that it was the right idea, just a bit too much pace on the pass. As Juventus have the ball back at their feet again, Bonucci, Demiral with the ball. I think we're going to see a lot of that this evening. Juventus trying to build from the back, trying to create opportunities, and Porto remaining strong in the defensive shape, trying to hit them on the counter. They've looked strong on the counter so far. Marega wins the ball back after a hapless pass from Juan Cuadrado, but the ball runs out for a Juventus throw on the right-hand side once again, and he throws it backwards again to Demiral, who plays a 1-2 with Arthur. Demiral has it back and finds Rabiot. Rabiot to Arthur on the halfway line for Juventus again. What can Arthur do? He clips the ball in behind looking for Cuadrado, but it's good defending once again by the aging Pepe. And then Sanusi tries to skip past Ramsey, but Morata does well to run it back for Juve, and Ramsey passes forwards towards Morata, who let the ball run through him, tried to control it with his left, but couldn't get it under control on the edge of the Porto area, and Porto now have the ball themselves. Sanusi plays it to Taremi. Taremi over to the right-hand side where Corona is. Corona forwards to Marega, who squares it looking for Taremi, who goes down under contact, and it's a penalty. A penalty for Porto. Silly from Demiral. Really, really silly to commit himself there. It's really good build-up play from Porto again on this right-hand side. Corona finds Marega, who hits it first time, and Taremi does so well to get himself between the defender and the ball, and he is fouled by Demiral, and it's a very, very silly challenge from the centre half for Juventus, and it's a definite penalty for me. He does so well there, Taremi, to get his foot between the ball and Demiral, and VAR will check it. There's no doubt about that, but for me, there's no doubt it's a penalty, and Porto have the opportunity now to strengthen their lead and get an away goal in Turin, and they'll do it from the spot, and you can see Cristiano Ronaldo engaging in a conversation with Szczesny. But how big of a turning point in this game could that be? Porto have threatened Juventus early on, and now they have a penalty. Silly, silly, silly from Demiral, who committed himself, and it's clever from Taremi, who opened the scoring in Portugal in that first leg, and Porto have a chance to extend their lead here and go 1-0 ahead on the night. It will be Oliveira, Porto's danger man, who takes it, and he sends Szczesny the wrong way, and that's it. Porto leads in Turin. Wow. 3-1 now on aggregate to Porto, who have looked very strong here in this opening 18 minutes. They got a penalty. It was deserved. It was silly from Demiral. Clever from Taremi, the Porto striker. And Oliveira made no mistake from the spot, going to the keeper's right as Szczesny fell to his left. And Oliveira makes it 3-1 to Porto on aggregate, 1-0 to Porto on the night. And you can't say that they don't deserve that. They have had the better chances, bar that Morata header early on for Juventus, which was straight at Marquezine, really. And the cameras pan to Cristiano Ronaldo because we're going to have to see a special performance from him tonight now. 3-1 on aggregate to Porto, 1-0 on the night. That Oliveira penalty is the difference on the night. Philippe Hunt says, let's hope Porto wins so we play them in the quarters. They're showing tonight, and they did in the first leg, that they're not pushovers. They are not a pushover. And thank you for the super chat, Philippe. But they won't be a side that are easily pushed over Porto. And with the form Liverpool are in right now, I'd be worried to play any side, if I'm honest, in Europe. But Porto, if they do knock Juventus out, you can't underestimate them in the quarterfinals. Visca Barca still staying strong. I remember you said before the game 4-0 to Porto on the night. Well, Juventus are going to have to throw a lot at them now, and we've seen the early warning signs from Porto. They look good on the counter, and they have caused problems for Juve. And Demir, what a poor decision from Demiral then. I'll praise Porto for the build-up play on the right-hand side. I'll praise Taremi for getting his foot between the man and the ball, but Demiral, poor from him defensively, and Porto lead 1-0 on the night. And they have the ball again now, and it's broken through, but Demiral does better there and finds Szczesny at the back. The ball goes forwards, but it can't be kept in by Arthur, and it runs out for a Porto throw in. And let me know in the comments what you think. Is Pirlo's job under pressure now? 10 points behind in Serie A. They do have a game of hand, of course, but a win would see them 7 points behind league leaders Inter Milan. And of course, if they go out in the round of 16 in the Champions League, that we know is their focus. Juventus want to win the Champions League. That's why they brought in Cristiano Ronaldo. That's why they sacked Maurizio Sarri. And surely the Juventus board will not be happy seeing them crash out of the round of 16 of the Champions League. And the camera pans to what looks like a stressed Pirlo on the sideline. And you would be, wouldn't you? Oh, and the ball breaks through again, but Demiral is there to clear out for a Porto throw. But there was a late challenge there by Taremi on Demiral that has won Juventus a free kick. But, you know, it looks like an interesting battle there between the two of them, Demiral and Taremi tonight. Both of them, of course, involved in the penalty decision, with Demiral, the Turkish centre-back, making an error and an element of stupidity from him, really. But it was clever from Taremi. And here is Bonucci at the back. What do Juventus have in them? Here is Rabiot, Ronaldo, a couple of fancy step-overs, but doesn't look like he knows what to do after that. He goes backwards to Ramsey, who goes inside to Arthur. And Alex Sandro now, the left-back for Juventus, finds Bonucci. It's slow from Juventus right now. Can they burst this game into life? Can they create something other than that early header from Morata? As Morata found himself free, the Spanish striker found himself free with a free header. It was a good save from Marquezine, but Morata had to do better. And here go Porto again. Here is Oliveira, the goal scorer, who looks to find Marega, and Juventus deal with it, but it's only half cleared by Aaron Ramsey. Here's Pepe. Corona on the right-hand side for Porto. Just about does enough to keep it in, but can't keep the ball for Porto. And Alexandro has it back for Juventus. Here is Rabiot. Rabiot to Arthur now for Juventus. Can we see something a bit different from Juventus? They've been very slow in this opening 25 minutes with their build-up play. And I think everyone's eyes will be on Cristiano Ronaldo and what he can do tonight. But it's Morata who skips past Pepe. He goes down. There was contact, but I don't think there was enough. I think he found himself off balance there. And Pepe just about did enough to recover after Morata skipped past him too easy initially. Here is Sanusi on the left-hand side for Porto, who have the advantage as he's brought down. And it's over to the right where Corona is as Alexandro finds himself out of position. Corona hits it. It's saved well by Szczesny, but defensively, Juve look all over the shop in this opening 25 minutes. And Porto look the better side. Let's have a look at the comments. People can't believe they've missed a goal. Yes, Porto lead by 1-0 here. They lead 3-1 on aggregate. Let's have a look. Brain saying that Juventus look wide open in defence. They absolutely do. They look poor at the back, and Porto are finding it too easy to break through. Liz Golden says Pirlo looks like he wants to take the pitch. Yeah, I think they could really do with Andrea Pirlo right now, as it's hit well from distance from about 25 yards out by Otavio, and it's saved by Szczesny. But it's all Porto right now. They're having all the better chances. And though Juventus are dominating the ball and dominating possession, it's Porto who are finding it far too easy to break through this Juventus defence and get shot. And here is Porto on the ball once again with Oliveira, the goal scorer, who scored from the spot early on. Sanusi skips past Cuadrado, as we've seen him do so often in these early stages, and finds Corona. Corona clips a chipped ball across. Juventus are pleading with the referees. They believe the ball's gone out, but the referees don't think it has. I don't think it has. It's a half clearance from Demiral, and then Sanusi hits it again, and it goes over. Juventus really poor defensively right now. Cuadrado being beaten far too often on the right-hand side for Juve. Sanusi is getting past him far too easily. And it's Sanusi who's just had an effort that he slightly sliced over. And we're looking at Ronaldo to be the danger man this evening, to be the man that can produce something for Juventus. But Juventus can't get him in the game right now. I'm seeing on my screen, there's been 8 shots for Porto, 3 on target in this opening 25 minutes. Juventus have only managed 2 with just that Morata header on target for them. And it hasn't been good enough in these early stages in Turin from Juventus whatsoever. And are we going to see a shock here? Are Porto, who are known for that Champions League win under Jose Mourinho all them years ago, of course, when a young Mourinho guided them to the Champions League. Here is Juan Cuadrado, who whips across in. Here is Morata. Morata! Good save. Once again by Marquesan. It seemed that he did everything right there. Cuadrado whipped across in over the head of Janko. Morata lost his man, got the ball under control. But Marquesan made himself big, made the block, and it will be a Juventus corner. He did everything right there, Morata. But Marquesan made himself big, and his chest denies the Spaniard. And it's a corner now for Juventus. Can they get themselves back in this tie? They trail by 3-1 on aggregate, of course. Cuadrado whips the ball in. It's headed away by Taremi, the centre-forward for Porto. Alexandro now for Juve. Here's Juan Cuadrado, who whips the ball in from the left with his right foot. Oliveira, the goal scorer, heads away. It falls to Arthur, who will go backwards to his goalkeeper, Szczesny. What have you lot made of this opening half an hour? Have you been shocked by the standard of Porto? Have you been shocked by how poor this Juve defence has been? How easy they've made it for Porto? And there is a good pass forwards from Pepe that split through the midfields of Juventus, but Bonucci recovered it well, and Juan Cuadrado can't get the ball under control. It is a Porto throw in. Let me have a look in the comments, see what you lot have made of this opening half an hour. Let's have a look. Visca Barca saying, are you going to do PSG versus Barca? Probably not, because obviously Liverpool are on tomorrow night, so I don't think we will. That's where my focus will be tomorrow night, of course. So I doubt I will, but I'm sure it'll be a very, very good game. And don't forget, Craig will be live on Anfield Agenda for Liverpool versus Leipzig tomorrow night. Liverpool take a 2-0 advantage into that game. It will be played in Budapest once again. I am slightly behind. My clock is more behind than me. I'm in the 28th minute. I know my clock is slightly behind that. I'll sort that out for the second half. Don't worry. It's rare I forget twice in one game. Touch wood. And here's Sanusi on the left-hand side. He's caused problems for Juve earlier on. And he fouls Rabiot. Rabiot did really well there. Cuadrado once again caught out of position. Yuvraj says, Juve looks so bad. Yeah, they don't look very good in these early stages, do they? Especially defensively. But don't forget they have Cristiano Ronaldo, who's capable of ridiculous amounts of moments of magic and can turn this tie around so quickly. But at the minute, they're struggling to get him in the game. The ball goes over to the right-hand side where Juan Cuadrado is. He's looked a threat going forwards for Juve tonight, but he's looked embarrassing defensively. He's been beaten on numerous occasions on this right-hand side for Juve by Sanusi for Porto. And here is Cristiano Ronaldo, Juve's danger man, on the ball. Arthur over to Alexandro. The ball forwards. Pepe heads away. And there is Rabiot, who strikes it well. He strikes it down to the ground. He's about 35 yards out. He hits it well. The bubble causes the Porto goalkeeper some problems, but he manages to collect it in both hands and will take his time with his goal kick, no doubt about it. Apparently, it's still 0-0 between Sevilla and Dortmund in the other game in the Champions League this evening. Here we are, Juve on the right-hand side again. This time, Ramsey whips the ball in and it's brought under control with the chest of Chiesa, who's inside the Porto box. His cross is blocked by Sanusi, and it will be a Juventus corner. Can they threaten from this? They're looking good with those balls in behind Juventus, particularly from this right-hand side. But Porto are looking the stronger side defensively, that's for sure. And it will be Chiesa who takes this corner from the right-hand side for Juve. He goes short to Aaron Ramsey, who finds Juan Cuadrado. Here is Arthur, who whips the ball in, looks for the header of Morata, but there is a very strong clash of heads there. I think it's between two Porto players, with Demiral also being involved. Pepe immediately went to ground. The referee stopped it straight away. It looked like a sore one, that, as Arthur whipped the ball in towards Morata and Demiral, and it's Demiral and Pepe who clash heads, and Pepe immediately drops to the ground. He'll need some medical attention after that. I think as Demiral rose as well, his boot may have caught the number 28, the number 27 for Porto, Oliveira. Oh no, it's Otavia that he catches with his studs. Demiral, who was offside anyway, I can see from the replay. So even if he had won the header and it gone goal bound, it wouldn't have counted. But whilst Pepe, I can see a wounded Pepe, blood pouring from his head, is receiving treatment. I'll look into the comments to see what you lot are making of this right now. Yuvraj saying, good you chose Porto versus Juve. Yeah, I thought it would be an interesting game. I thought Porto might sit back, but I knew Juve had to go for this one. And I know Juve have been hit with injuries defensively and aren't the strongest defensively at the moment. Bernadette, with the comment of the night, please like, subscribe and share. This is a channel that was started in December by Craig and Connor from Anfield Agenda, and it's a channel that we're really trying to push with these watch-alongs and that we're doing ever so well with. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the content and that you like, you subscribe, you push it as much as you can on social media and get as many people watching, because what is key for these watch-alongs isn't just the commentary from me and the reactions from me. And, you see the best watch-alongs with the likes of Craig, of course, from Anfield Agenda, who does a great job and who runs this channel too. Who's so good at watch-alongs, and you've got Mark Goldbridge as well, who's good at them. AFTV are pushing the watch-alongs at the minute. The Redmen TV with Paul and Chris do good watch-alongs too. But what's great for these watch-alongs is having these interactions in the comments with people, and the more people that are watching this video, the more people it's shared to, the more people in the comments, the better conversation we can have. So come on, we're on our way to 15k on Mundo Sporto. Let's get that. Let's push that. And let's share this on social media as much as you can. Let me try and update you with what's going on for Pepe now. He is a crucial part of this Porto defence, and it's good to see him back at his feet with his eyebrow strapped up. As I say, I saw a lot of blood while he was down on the ground, and it's good to see that he is able to continue such a crucial part of that defence for Porto. The aging Pepe, Yuvraj, loving the content as a Liverpool fan. Thank you, and hopefully soon I'll be able to talk more about some good Liverpool performances. Because as a Liverpool fan myself, it's hard times at the minute for us. It really is. Lots of comments from Manchester United and Manchester City fans in here. An interesting derby at the weekend. A good win for Manchester United against what was an informed City side, probably the most informed side in Europe. Apparently, Dortmund-Sevilla is a very boring game. Well, I tell you, this is a good one. So stay with me for this. As Ronaldo hits the ball from 25 yards out, but it's a scuff strike. It's blocked well from Porto, who themselves will now look to break. And we've seen them do it so many times quickly in this game so far. And Marega finds Corona, who produces a nice ball back to Marquesen in the Porto goal. Don't worry, I'll keep changing the sides that the banner at the bottom of the screen. But the ball is now at the feet of Porto, and Janko is on the ball for them now. Oliveira, the goal scorer who scored from the spot, on the ball. 35 minutes played here. My clock on the screen is slightly behind, so I apologise for that. Here's Cuadrado on the right-hand side, inside to Arabio, who goes backwards to the Juventus goalkeeper and former Arsenal man, of course, Wojciech Szczesny, who is keeping the aged Gianluigi Buffon out of this Juventus side at the moment. And Demiral is on the right-hand side for Juventus. He skips past Otavio and finds Cristiano Ronaldo, who has to come deep to get the ball in these early stages. He's finding himself frustrated. He's not in the game as much as he'd like, as much as Juventus would like, as much as Pirlo would like him to be. Ramsey finds Morata, who goes backwards to Alexandro on this left-hand side for Juventus. He finds Chiesa. Chiesa puts it onto his right foot and whips across in, but it's into the hands of Marquesen. And Ronaldo, again, looking frustrated at the service he is receiving right now. And it won't be long before he starts to try and take the game into his own hands. Juventus need to, of course, just to send this game into extra time. And you wonder if they can do that. You think they could do with one just before the break. There's 10 minutes to go before the break. But as I keep saying, Juventus have Cristiano Ronaldo. And in the Champions League, when you've got Cristiano Ronaldo, you're capable of anything, as we have seen so often from Cristiano Ronaldo when he was at Real Madrid. Here is Arthur on the ball now for Juventus. Goes left to Alexandro, who looks up as if he's about to whip across in. Ronaldo's at the back post with his arm in the air. Ramsey wins the header, heads to Morata. It's a good, strong header from Ramsey, but Morata can't get it under control. And there's Janko to get the clearance. But Juventus still have the ball on the halfway line. Here is Arabia, who finds Cuadrado. Cuadrado looks to try and get past Otavio before turning on the ball and finding Rabio, who roams forwards and finds Alexandro, who passes to Chiesa. Chiesa back inside to Arthur. It's a good high press that Porto play. And Juventus trying to pass the ball around, but they're pressed high and fast by Porto, who have a very good defensive shape. Here is Demiral, who conceded the penalty with a silly moment from the Turkish centre-half. But it was very, very good play from Taremi to get himself between the man and the ball. After good play, good build-up play from Porto on the right-hand side between Corona and Marega. Here is Bonucci, who looks to go forwards again, but lack of options sees him turn back. He looks like he doesn't know what to do. He then goes right to Rabio. Cuadrado. Juventus looking like a team lacking ideas at the moment. Cuadrado backwards to Rabio. Rabio skips past Taremi, who won the penalty. And Rabio's ball isn't good enough to Ramsey, and Porto have won it back. Here it is, Taremi. Can they create something here? He looks over to the right-hand side where Corona is, but that's a poor pass from Taremi, and Alexandro regains possession for Juventus and goes over to the left-hand side. It's Chiesa. I can see on my screen Haaland, who else, has put Dortmund ahead and strengthened They're leading that tie against Sevilla. Dortmund now lead 4-2 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night. And who else but Erling Haaland, the scorer for them. Let's have a look in the comments. What do you make of Erling Haaland and that goal? Liz Golden says she likes Champions League football because it's so unpredictable. And yeah, who'd have predicted Porto would be beating Juventus like this? And they look very, very strong. Let's have a look. Assist by Royce, apparently the Haaland goal. Yuvraj pointed out, please like, subscribe and share. I'll leave that on the screen for a bit. As Juventus go forwards now, the ball whipped in from the left towards Morata. It was a strong header by Janko, and it goes out for a Juventus corner. That defence for Porto is going to be crucial tonight. And so far, they've defended really well, very resiliently. And Juventus haven't been able to create too much, but they have a corner right now. Can they make the most of this? Corner from the left-hand side. I think Juan Cuadrado will take. Again, he does. I can see him calling for a near-post runner right now. They don't have as much time to waste. Cuadrado clearly not happy with his movement in the box in the end and goes short. Receives it back, whips one in, but it's a poor cross. It's fallen, though, after a block to Ramsey and goes to Arthur, but his strike from about 35 yards out is blocked. And now it'll be a corner for Juve on the opposite side, on that right-hand side. And Cuadrado will take it. Apparently, Sevilla are being frustrated by Dortmund. But this comment from Addison, Haaland is just incredible. Probably the best youngster in Europe right now. Certainly him and Mbappe. He's like a robot, isn't he? Haaland, as the ball whipped in from Cuadrado. There is the header of Morata. But once again, the Porto goalkeeper does really well. Gets there ahead of Bonucci. And Ronaldo is caught offside as Porto lost the ball and Juventus looked to start a quick attack again. But Marquezine has made a couple of very good saves for Porto in this first half. Early on, denying the header of Morata, who should have done better. And there, he does well to get ahead of Bonucci, who I think may have been slightly offside anyway. But it was a brave move from Marquezine to get his right hand in front of Bonucci there to get his glove to the ball before Bonucci could get there. As Ronaldo flicks the ball on now, Pepe, his former teammate, does really well for Porto. As he goes back now to Marquezine, who I think is going to be under the cosh in the second half. But so far, he's made a couple of good saves for Porto. Ramsey on the ball now for Juve. Finds Rabiot. There's a Porto man down holding his head, so play will be stopped. Juve frustrated. I think they think it's gamesmanship, but it's a head injury. Play has to be stopped, of course. It'll be interesting to see how long we have added on at the end of this first half. We had a long head injury for Pepe as well, of course, and I feel like the Portuguese side may start trying to waste time a bit. Though with that being said, it is a head injury, and I can see Demiral has caught Otavio with his elbow there. Completely accidental. He just climbed above him and accidentally caught him with his elbow, but play had to be stopped due to Otavio rolling around holding his head. And Juventus being frustrated by Porto right now. Let's have a look at the comments here. Gucci Headband praising the stream. Thank you very much. YNWA96 has joined us and says, all right, Jack, thank you very much for joining us in the stream. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share this. Try and get as many people as you can, because as I say, I can only watch the game and talk about what I'm seeing. The best parts of these watch-alongs is the interaction with you guys. So if you can get as many people over as possible, push it. If you enjoy it, share it, subscribe, like it, keep coming back, share it to your mates. And we'll have good interaction in the comments. I'll always try and get to read as many comments, as many, obviously, super chats as possible. And now Porto look to attack again as Otavio looks to find Marega in behind. Szczesny's out and volleys away, but it falls to... Oh, and here's a long ball in behind for Juventus. And Ramsey looked to be there, but Marquezine once again is out and heads clear for Porto. Alexandro regains possession for Juventus. And it's Arthur now who links up with Ronaldo, but Arthur can't get the ball under control, and Juve lose it once more. Here is Otavio for Porto, who goes over to Corona on this right-hand side. There's a foot in from Rabiot, but Porto still remain in possession. It's sniffed out again, though, this time by Chiesa, and Juve go back to their goalkeeper. About 1.5 minutes left here of normal time in the first half before we go to stoppage time and then half time. Keep your questions coming in throughout half time. I'll try and cover as much as I can as Juve look to try and get back in this game, as right now we've got a shock on our hands as Porto lead this tie 3-1 on aggregate against Italian giants Juventus. And Morata loses possession far too easily there. Juventus, of course, don't have the likes of Dybala on the bench. They're missing him at the moment through injury. What a big loss he is for them. They could do with him tonight. And here is Cuadrado on the right-hand side for Juventus, inside to Rabiot, who looks to clip it through towards Chiesa, but it's a poor pass, and Pepe heads away with ease. Here's Corona on the right-hand side now for Porto. He links up with Oliveira, whose penalty is the difference between the two sides on the night. But Porto, of course, had an advantage going into this game, a 2-1 lead. Just 20 seconds left of normal time before we go into stoppage time here in Turin. And Porto have a free kick inside the Juventus half. They lead on the night by 1-0. They lead the tie by 3-1. And Juventus, looking aside, poor at the back, and like they're lacking ideas. There'll be 4 additional minutes here of the first half. Can Juventus get an equaliser before the break? They need to, of course, just to send this game to extra time. And I predicted it would be 3-1 tonight for Juventus. I predicted a Ronaldo hat-trick, but he struggled to get himself into this game in this opening 45 minutes. But he only needs a couple of minutes. He only needs one chance, Cristiano Ronaldo. But Porto look more likely to score the second goal, in my opinion. There's Corona on the ball now for Porto. And Chiesa sloppily brings him down. And Porto very much frustrating Juventus right now. And Porto will have a free kick on this right-hand side. 3 minutes left of stoppage time to be played. Let me have a look in the comments. What are you lot making of this? Bernadette says Ronaldo too. I didn't know he was on the pitch. Yeah, I thought he had that early header, but that was actually Morata. I would have been very surprised. Ronaldo missing a free header from that range. I was glad to see that it was Morata. But, you know, Ronaldo's really struggled to get into this game. The ball whipped in from the right. It's a poor free kick, actually. And Ramsey does well to block that. But that clearance from Chiesa is poor. And Porto have the ball on the edge of Juve's area. Can Rabiot clear it? A half clearance from Rabiot. Here's the goal scorer, Oliveira, who enters the box and gets a strike. And it's saved by Szczesny in the end. A powerful effort from the goal scorer, Oliveira. Cuadrado wins Juve a free kick. But it's Porto having the better chances here in the first half. Otavio becomes the first player on the night to go into the referee's book for that foul on Juan Cuadrado, trying to stop a quick Juventus counter. Danny Gray says anyone who underestimates Porto will be in for a shock. They aren't amazing, but they are solid. Yes, that is perfect. The perfect way of describing them. Well drilled, solid at the back, and a threat on the counter. A threat to shaky defenses like Juventus, like the Liverpool one we're seeing at the moment. And a whipped cross in from the left-hand side there from Juventus, cleared away by Porto, and it will be a Juventus corner from the left again. But yeah, there were comments earlier saying hopefully Porto go through, so they're in the last 8, but they're not a side to be underestimated. They look incredibly well drilled and a difficult opposition, as Juventus are finding out fast here. Cuadrado with a corner from the left. He whips one in. Headed away by Marega. Falls to Arthur. Just over a minute left of stoppage time here. As Alexandro whips across and it's flicked on. Pepe heads away. Ramsey heads back in. Marega away. Falls to Alexandro, who heads back to Arthur, who goes back to the goalkeeper. Szczesny. Can Juve put one attack together before the break. Bonucci whips one forwards towards the left-hand side where Cuadrado is. And an unfamiliar left-hand side for him. He's playing off the right, of course. Alexandro, Arthur. Here is Rabiot with a step over before he's quickly pressed by Oliveira, who scored from the spot, which is the difference between the two sides here in Turin. Ronaldo finds Demiral, who gave away the penalty, and it runs into the hands of Marquezan for Porto. And 10 seconds left of stoppage time. I think when the goalkeeper gets rid of this ball, that might be it. He throws it out to the right-hand side. The referee takes a look at his watch. It goes back to Marquezan in the Porto goal. And that is half-time. Porto are shocking Juventus in Turin. The Portuguese champions lead Juventus 3-1 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night. It was Oliveira's penalty after Demiral sloppily gave away a penalty. Taremi did really well to get between the ball and Demiral, but it was stupid from Demiral to concede that penalty, and they're regretting it. They're 3-1 down. They need 2 in the second half just to take it to extra time now. They need 3 to win it in 90 minutes. I predicted 3-1 before the game, but I've been really impressed with how well drilled, how solid Porto have been in this first half, like they were in the first leg. And Juventus have been far too open at the back. They've been too sloppy. They've not looked good at all defensively, and it's been too easy for Porto. But as I say, they're a side that if they get through, if they hold on for this last 45 minutes, are a side that nobody can underestimate. If they get them in the last 8, they've been very, very good in this first 45 minutes and very threatening on the counter. But that is half-time. It is 1-0 to Porto, 3-1 on aggregate. And before I look to the comments, answer your questions and recap the first half, I just want to remind you of our sponsors of today's video. This video wouldn't happen without them. And here is a reminder of what you get with OneFootball.
This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is the only football app you need to follow thousands of teams, hundreds of leagues and competitions worldwide. It is packed with all the latest news, videos, fixtures, scores, stats and key dates, and it personalizes the content that you want. It allows you to put your favorite team in, your favorite leagues, the fixtures you want to follow. It is an incredible app that I use, all my friends use, my family use it, everyone I know uses OneFootball. And if you're not using it yet, you need to go and download it.
Remember to download OneFootball. They help me out a lot with learning the team news and how teams are going to shape up ahead of games. Just before I look at anything, I'm just going to have a quick look at my bets right now, who I don't think are going too well, but we'll soon see what's going on in the EFL. If you can let me know in the comments what's going on, what the scores are elsewhere. Obviously, we know Dortmund are now 4-2 up on aggregate. Haaland's goal puts them 1-0 up on the night. Who else but Erling brought Haaland? A reminder on our screen now at the bottom of how Porto lined up this evening, and I'll put the Juventus lineup on there too. Juventus bench doesn't look too strong. It doesn't at all. They're missing Dybala, of course, and the man that they'll look to they'll want to step up in the second half is Cristiano Ronaldo. He was kept quiet in the first leg in his homeland in Portugal. And he's being kept quiet here so far. Juventus' best chances have come from Morata. He had an unmarked header in the first half that was brilliantly saved by Marquezan. But from a Morata perspective, he has to do better. He heads it straight at the goalkeeper, and it was a strong glove from Marquezan, but not good enough from Morata. He had another chance where he did everything right, but Marquezan once again making himself big in the Porto goal. But Porto have had the best chances. Taremi hit the bar before he earned the penalty, which was silly from Demiral. And as I say, Taremi does so well to get himself between the man and the ball, but it's naive from the defender, the Turkish defender. On the left-hand side, Porto have been getting in too easy. Sanusi has been getting past Cuadrado with ease. And Juventus have been the worst side in the first half. Porto look really good, really well drilled, and they're going to be a difficult task if they get through to the last 8. Let's have a look into the comments. Let's see what people are thinking. Blackburn are drawing with Swansea 1-1, drew with Swansea 1-1 apparently, and QPR beating Wickham 1-0. I wonder if Harvey Elliott was involved in the Blackburn goal there. I was hoping Blackburn would push for the playoffs, but they've not had too many good results recently. Let's have a look. Anything else? Arab FC saying, imagine Messi and Ronaldo getting eliminated in the round of 16. Yes, but there's new players coming through, isn't there? You know, Mbappe, Haaland, Neymar, even, you know, you're looking at Phil Foden from Manchester City. There's, you know, maybe we're coming to the end of the Messi and Ronaldo generation, and we've got this new generation of young talent coming through with Mbappe and Haaland, who are really tearing the world apart at the moment. And it'll be interesting to see the Ballon d'Or race at the end of the season. You know, Haaland has been terrific for Dortmund, and you can see he's been really good for them in the Champions League. He scored for them tonight. Mbappe, obviously PSG were in the Champions League final last year. Can they go one step further than that this year? We'll see. Neymar will be missing for their game tomorrow night, with an abductor injury. Always this time of year for him, isn't it? I'm sure his sister's birthday is coming up pretty soon. But yeah, PSG won't be too confident going into that game. They've got a heavy lead, but they'll have in the back of their minds what's happened to them before when they have had a comfortable lead going into the second leg against Barcelona, who surely they can't do it again. Yuvraj saying that Juve need to change it up. It's so predictable. It is. It really is. You know, they're resorting to crosses a lot, but that's how well drilled Porto are. Rob O'Neill saying, laughing at Liverpool fans in the chat thinking they could beat Porto, can't beat Fulham, Brighton and Burnley. And yeah, I'm looking at this horrified if we come up against Porto, because they're a side that, of course, would be the underdogs. But they're really strong in their setup. Their defensive shape is really good. And they're built like the English sides that we're struggling to break down at the moment. And it's as simple as that. They look like they're a side that are incredibly hard to break down. And we know that by the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo in the first leg and in this first 45 minutes has been kept so quiet. And they're so strong on the counter-attack too. You know, as I say, they've had the better chances in the first half. And I know Juve have helped them with what has been a shaky defensive display from Juventus, but it's been predictable from Juve. But with that being said, the Porto shape has been very, very good. And I'd really fear coming up against Porto in the last day. I really, really would. Let's have a look. Brian Morrissey saying Neymar gets plenty of stick, but he genuinely has awful luck with injuries. Yeah, I know. It's a light-hearted joke. I think everyone knows that it's common that you can get players getting injured at the same time every year due to like just how bodies work. And Neymar, of course, with his skillful style of play comes lots of filthy challenges on him. And he does have awful luck with injuries. And I don't, you know, it's not surprising with some of the tackles that he ends up being the victim of. But, you know, I think it's one of the things, it's just a light-hearted joke, isn't it? But it does seem to be at this time of year every year, and such a crucial man for PSG. It seems like they've done enough in that first leg to knock Barcelona out. But as I say, they'll have that thought of a few seasons ago where Barcelona had that incredible fight back looming in the back of their heads. Let me have a look. Comment here from Not Selling 448 saying, do you think the Premier League is the best league in the world? It's certainly the most competitive. That's what I'll say. You have so many good teams in the Premier League. You look this season, the likes of West Ham, Villa look very good and exciting sides to watch, but you also have a few deadwood sides in the Premier League and sides that, you know, like your Burnleys that just sit back. But I would say it's the best league in the world, but I'm very biased. I'm an English person. The Premier League is my main league. It's the league I watch more than any, though I try to keep up with other leagues. I think the Liga challenges it, but recently, especially this past season, we've seen the fall of Real Madrid and Barcelona, and that league, you know, Atletico Madrid are flying through with that so far this season. But we saw them against Chelsea the other night. They didn't look strong at all. I think Serie A, it's quite slow. It's a different style of play in the Serie A. It's a lot slower in the build-up, and we're seeing the defence from Juve today. And of course, Milan, who are second in their league, are currently in the Europa League, and Inter too, of course. And then you've got the Bundesliga, which is often criticised for the defence, and the defence on a lot of teams. But I think Bayern are definitely one of the strongest sides in Europe right now. But yeah, that's my take. But as an English person, I'm bound to be biased and think the Premier League is the best league in the world. Brain's thoughts on the first half. He agrees with me. He says Juventus looks slow and predictable. Yuvraj says the next GOATs, Mbappe and Haaland. Yeah, it certainly looks like it's going through. A bit of non-football talk here. Piers Morgan officially left ITV. Good riddance. I thought his comments on the Meghan Markle situation yesterday were absolutely absurd. And, him to storm out of the ITV studio this morning after what I thought was an incredible, almost monologue and piece of journalism by, I think his name's Dan, the other journalist with him. I thought, I thought he smashed it, and I thought Piers Morgan was utterly in the wrong once again. And one thing about him is he does it because he tries to be controversial on purpose. And one time it was going to get him in a lot of trouble, and it has done in the past, and it has done once again. And now he's left ITV. And it's good, I think, because it's clear he's got a personal vendetta against Meghan Markle. And I think, his comments yesterday were absolutely vile. They really are. And it goes against everything that TV companies like ITV are pushing for with mental health and everything like that at the moment, racial equality, stuff like that. And Piers Morgan with a rant that was just totally out of order. And I'm just glad that he'll no longer be there. But anyway, let's go back to the football. Shane Buckley says anything can happen in over 2 legs. Look, yeah, I completely agree. Not many people would have bet on Porto, but they beat Juventus in the first leg, and they're doing the job so far in the second. They're looking very, very strong. And Juventus now need at least 2 goals in this second 45 minutes this evening to get anything from this tie. So. Yeah, I still think. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Of 3-1. But one thing I will say is I wouldn't be shocked if Porto managed to hold on here, because they look really, really good. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Porto come away from this beating Juventus, and they've only got 45 minutes more to hold on. They were so strong in the first leg. They've been so good today, and their defensive shape looks really, really strong. They're threatening Juventus and their weak defense on the counter attack, and I wouldn't put it past Porto winning. But with Cristiano Ronaldo, anything can happen, and I'm going to stay with my prediction of 3-1. Ewan Jackson saying anyone else's stream froze. Yes, I apologise. I think I just froze for a brief period. Then my Wi-Fi has just been going through a bit of an issue, but hopefully it is recovered now, and you have me back. Can you just confirm that in the comments, one of you, to make sure I'm back? Arab FC saying, you think Porto can go far? It'll be utterly reactionary to say yes. They've knocked out a Juventus side that is weak at the moment and suffering in both the league and the Champions League. And don't forget, they've not managed to knock them out just yet. They've got 45 minutes to hold on. But their defensive shape is one I like, and one that I think can cause a lot of upset. They look well drilled, and they look like they're set in a system that suits the Champions League, and they look very, very hard to break down. And if Cristiano Ronaldo can't break you down, then you're doing something right. And I think in the Champions League, luck goes into it too. You've got to have positive draws also. So this was a difficult one for Porto. It'll be interesting to see who they get in the next round. But yeah, they're certainly a team that is built very, very well, and they look very, very good here against Juventus, and they look like a side that may be able to hold on for another 45 minutes here and knock out the Italian giants Juventus. Samuel O says thoughts on Pirlo as manager. Well, he's another one of them that's a former player who's been given a managerial role, and perhaps too early. It was only a matter of days after he was given the role as under 23s manager at Juventus. Yeah, I think he only did one game as manager of the Juventus under-23s before he was appointed as first-team manager. Maybe he's had that too soon. I know that last season when Juventus were in a similar situation as they were now, their fans were right on the back of Maurizio Sarri and wanted him gone, and they got rid of him. They got Pirlo in, and now we know the Champions League is something they want to win. They brought Cristiano Ronaldo in to win the Champions League. They've won Serie A 9 years on the bounce. They're 10 points behind Inter with a game in hand in Serie A this season. It's not been a good season for Juventus, and Pirlo is undoubtedly under pressure, surely. Let's have a look. CTV pointing out here that it says 1-0 on my screen. That is the score of tonight. And don't worry, I'll remember to start the clock on time now. But though it is 1-0 on the night, it is 3-1 to Porto on aggregate. And Juventus need 2 goals just to send this to extra time. Ronaldo struggled to get into the game in the first half. Juventus's best chances coming through Alvaro Morata. But Porto have looked so strong defensively. Their shape looks very good. They're also very threatening on the counter-attack. And Juve look one-dimensional, a team lacking ideas, and a team that has been very sloppy at the back, which reminds me of Liverpool at the moment, if I'm honest. What do you lot think in the comments? I thought that first half performance from Juventus very much reminded me of Liverpool in recent weeks. It did. You know, defensively strong Porto side in a shape that's built to frustrate Juventus, frustrating Juventus, and Juventus looking like a side that's lacking ideas, lacking ambition, and weak at the back. A comment here from Samuel O as well saying Pepe is doing his thing. He is. He's been strong, and his leadership at the back for Porto, he's an aging centre half, but you've seen he's still very, very strong. He's still a leader, and it's working for Porto. They look very, very strong defensively. Ewan Jackson agrees with me that they're looking like Liverpool. Tom Palmer thinks even if by some miracle Juve pull this back and turn it around, he thinks they'll get knocked out in the next round as they've been awful. And this sums it up for me from Yuvraj. You know, Juventus, by their standards, have been absolutely poor, but you have to praise Porto for how they've set up, for their performance over both these legs. And the slight delay in this half was Taremi coming out late, but we now are underway for the second half as Porto kick us off. And it's a long ball forwards. Bonucci ducks and goes out for a Juventus goal kick. Spam the chat. Can Juve pull this back? Let me know. Apparently, Dortmund are now 2-0 up, according to Gavin. An early goal for them in the second half. And it looks like tie over there if that is the case. Because, of course, that will mean that they are leading 5-2 on aggregate. Samuel O saying, how would you fix Juventus? It's a pretty good squad now. It's an interesting one. I think there's a lot of average players in this Juventus side as well. I really do. So it is an interesting comment. But, of course, they've got a good starting point. They've got one of the best players in the world, Ronaldo. I think they're suffering with injuries themselves at the minute as well. Of course, suffering without Chiellini tonight. The lit isn't a signing that has particularly worked for Juventus. They're without Dybala as well. And, you know, key players missing. And their bench does look very weak tonight too. And they've got a lot to do in the second half. As I say, 2 goals will take this to extra time. And Juventus on the ball now with Rabiot. And Rabiot finds Demiral, who conceded the penalty in the first half. That is the difference between the two sides on the night. And here is Ramsey, Bonucci. Porto have come out once again with that very good defensive shape. It almost looks like a 6 at the back at times. And it's going to be a very difficult task for Juventus, for Cristiano Ronaldo, who at the minute has ghosted through the first half of this game. But can he burst Juventus into life here? You think they may need a goal soon. Arthur to Rabiot. Rabiot over to the right-hand side where Cuadrado is. He feints across and skips past the Porto man Otavio. Here is Rabiot. Rabiot back to Bonucci. They look so strong defensively, Porto. As I say, it's not a side I'd like to see Liverpool face in the next round if Liverpool get through the next round, and should Porto hold on here. I can see Corona sporting a black eye. He played a crucial part in winning the penalty. Some good build-up play on the right-hand side for Porto before Marega first time whipped a cross in, and Taremi did really well to get himself in between the ball and Demir out to win Porto the penalty, which makes them lead 1-0 on the night and 3-1 on aggregate. And here is Bonucci for Juve now, who plays a 1-2 with Arthur. Bonucci forwards to Cristiano Ronaldo, the danger man. Alexandro, Chiesa, Arthur to Bonucci, who puts a lovely ball in behind towards Ronaldo, who controls it. And there is Chiesa, and there is 1-1. And Porto turn to look at the flag, but Juventus look to be back in this. And it's the man who scored in the first leg, Chiesa, who produces a beautiful finish here too. And it was that change of pace for Juve. And that's better from them. They're passing the ball around slowly. It's the captain tonight, Bonucci, who whips a ball in behind Ronaldo. I wondered if he was going to try an overhead kick, but instead he brings it down with his right foot and lets Chiesa hit it first time with his right foot from just inside the area. And it thunders into the top corner. It is being checked by VAR, but what a finish that is by Chiesa, the number 22 for Juventus. And it's a lovely touch to bring it down from Cristiano Ronaldo. And you can see how much that means to Chiesa. But as I say, VAR is checking the goal. There is a delay on this one. But I think Chiesa may have levelled the tie on the night. Yes, he has. There is the confirmation as Chiesa celebrates for a second time. It is level on the night. Juve have scored at a good time, but they need one more at least just to send it to extra time. And they're in the vulnerable position also of, remember, away goals count in the Champions League. But we can't take anything off that finish from Chiesa, who scored in the first leg. He scored again now. It was a lovely first-time finish. Ronaldo's fouled on the halfway line. Will there be a few nerves kicking in for Porto now? Is that a turning point in this tie? That early goal in the second half for Chiesa and for Juventus. A big goal in this tie. And can Porto hold on? Let me see what you lot think in the comment. A quick start, says Ewan Jackson. Yes, very quick. They scored at a good time. George YNWA pointing out. It's a good goal by Piemonte Calcio. And Juventus look to have got a bit of confidence from that goal. It was a delightful finish from Chiesa. And they've won a corner now, and Cristiano Ronaldo turns to everyone. You can see him urging Juventus on, clapping. He sees now that they have an opportunity back in this game. That chance, that goal is a huge turning point in this tie, and Porto will undoubtedly have nerves kicking in now. Can they hold on? The ball whipped in, flicked on at the near post by Alexandro. It's fallen to Arta, who whips one in, headed away by Janko. Cuadrado whips one in towards Ronaldo. Falls to Ramsey. Great save. Right, straight at Marcus-San, actually. Chiesa is still down. He feels as though it was a foul. But yeah, the Italian goal scorer, Chiesa, has levelled the tie on the night. But on aggregate, Porto still have the advantage, 3-2. I'm just seeing that foul back. It's definitely a foul by Taremi on Chiesa, and the referee played the advantage. He's gone back and booked Taremi for it. So Porto have two men in the book tonight. I was just looking over to my TV at the bottom to see if That meant he misses the second leg, but it doesn't. Sorry, the first leg of the last 8 if Porto are to get there, but it doesn't. He's been very important for Taremi in this tie so far. Earned the penalty tonight, of course. Scored early on in Portugal in the first leg. As Juventus have a throw. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think Juventus will go through now after that early second half equaliser? Or do you think Porto will manage to somehow hold on? Remember, in the first half, it wasn't just the penalty they had. They had numerous chances to score, Porto. They looked good on the counter. They looked strong in their defensive shape. But as I say, that goal for Juventus could well be the turning point. And Juventus have won a free kick there, and their players surround the referee as Taremi boots the ball away, and you can see Ronaldo is very annoyed, and the referee just turns to him. That's like a schoolboy moment. The referee just turns to him and almost stamps his feet, and you see Ronaldo turn and put his arms behind his back, and that is a red card. Taremi has been sent off for kicking the ball away, and I do feel like the referee may have been influenced there by Juventus players surrounding him, by Ronaldo screaming in his face. But to be fair, Taremi kicked the ball away, and I've said in the last few weeks, you've seen a lot of players in the Premier League kicking the ball away and getting away with it. You don't seem to see too many yellow cards for that now. But Taremi, who was booked just a minute or so ago earlier, has got frustrated at a foul being conceded, and he's volleyed the ball away, and it is a bookable offence. But what I don't like to see is that from Cristiano Ronaldo, where he's screaming in the face of the referee. You've got Juve players surrounding the referee. Let me know what you think. But that could be a huge turning point in this game. Taremi, who I just looked to see if his yellow card meant he'd be suspended if they got through to the last 8. Just a minute later, after his first yellow card, which was a silly challenge as it was, he's now been sent off for kicking the ball away. And a bizarre moment here in Turin. And we've seen that Juventus goal, Chiesa, and now this red card. Totally unnecessary. Taremi has obviously heard the whistle there. It's a clear instance of frustration. He's volleyed the ball away. I don't have an issue with him receiving a second yellow and a red card there, but I don't like to see Ronaldo going and screaming in the referee's face. I feel as though he should have been booked for that too. There was many Juventus players, though, that surrounded the referee asking for a second yellow card. I don't like to see that. But Porto now down to 10 men, and they have a lot to do. Can they hold on? Taremi, who, as I was just saying, has been so important to Porto in this tie, has been sent off for 2 silly yellow cards. Really silly from Taremi. And Porto have a lot to do now with 10 men. Can they hold on? Or will Juve run away with it now? Wow, what a game. What a game. Let me know what you think of that red card. Thomas Kennedy says, imagine doing that in a knockout Champions League tie. Yeah, it's just silly. Very silly from him. You know, you can't do that. You've just been booked literally a minute earlier for what was a poor challenge, a silly challenge. And then you go and boot the ball into row Z in Turin when your side is leading in the Champions League. And Chiesa finds himself in behind, looks to slide it in, it's hit the post. Oh my God, what defending that was by Pepe. Chiesa did so well. It was a lovely ball in behind from Rabiot. Chiesa, his first touch was beautiful. It took him round the keeper, but Pepe, the Porto captain, the aging defender, formerly of Real Madrid, of course. Wow, what defending that is from Pepe. He's not past it. Incredible defending. And that keeps Porto in this for now. Cuadrado on the right-hand side with a corner. Pepe once again there with a header away. He's going to be a very key man for Porto now if they're going to hold on to this. Here's Ramsey. What a game. Over towards Bonucci, who controls it with his right. Looks to skip past Pepe with his left. But Pepe once again doing enough. And it's a corner. Wow. What a game we have here. Mark Caldwell saying, I wonder how much the old lady are paying the ref. You know, we've known they've done it in the past, but it is a yellow card offence. It is. I just don't like how the Juventus players surrounded the referee. The ball whipped in, it's headed away by Marega, and there is a foul on him by Cristiano Ronaldo. It'll be a free kick now to Porto, who have half an hour to hold on here, but they're down to 10 men after silly play by Taremi, who received 2 yellow cards in the space of 2 minutes. Yuvraj saying Juve have changed tactics. Whatever Pirlo said at halftime worked. Who scored? It was Chiesa for Juventus after a first half penalty from Oliveira. Demiral conceded a penalty to Taremi, who is now off after 2 quick yellow cards. Won the penalty and has been a crucial player for Porto over these 2 legs. Definitely from an attacking standpoint. Corona dispossesses Alexandro inside the Juventus half and wins Porto a corner. They'll be in no rush to take this. Yuvraj saying Pepe is underrated. Yeah, an aging defender. People thought he was past it when he moved to the Portuguese league and Porto, but he's been crucial for Porto here in the side that are set up so well defensively. And here is Sergio Oliveira from the right-hand side for 10 men Porto. Ball whipped in, headed away by Rabiot. Ramsey's up. Here is Chiesa. There's a bit more pace to Juventus now. Chiesa looks for Ramsey in behind. The shape from Porto isn't quite there. Now they are down to 10. Another away goal, of course, would be huge for them, though. Here is Alexandro. Here is Rabiot. It's going to be a tough task now for Porto to hold on as Cuadrado tosses the ball into the box. The header's won by Ramsey at the far post, but it goes out for a goal kick, I believe. I'll have to watch that back. Yeah, the ball's whipped in from Cuadrado. And, ooh, is that ball already out? It definitely comes off Salusi last. Salusi, sorry. But I believe the ball may have already been out, and that's why it has been awarded as a goal kick. I can see now for Porto, they are preparing a substitution. I assume it may be a defensive sub, but I'm sure I'll be able to see more in a moment. The ball runs through to the Porto goalkeeper, and there is Marquesan, who's forwards. Bonucci now for Juve. Into the last half an hour here in Turin. The score is level tonight, but Porto 10 men this evening after Taremi was sent off for 2 bookable offences in the space of 2 minutes. His second, very stupid for kicking the ball away. Cuadrado whips a ball in from the right. Juventus claiming for a handball. Ref waves that one away. Ronaldo loves it, doesn't he? Always there screaming at any half decision. He's there trying to put the ref under pressure. Alexandro whips a lovely, dangerous ball in, but who's there again? It's Pepe to clear away. Waxing that Vaseline and plaster over his eye after that early wound that he received, the head injury. He's been so key for Porto over these 2 legs. And he has been so good for them defensively this evening. And I can see Porto will now make that change. The youngster for Porto, Sarr, will be coming on. The number 32. Let me just wait and see who it is who will be making way. Whoever it is doesn't look too happy. It is Otavio, who, of course, we saw booked in that first half. That might be one of the reasons why he has come off. He didn't seem too happy by that, but Cuadrado takes the corner for Juve from the left-hand side. Here's Ronaldo at the far post. Saved well by Marquesan. It's back in towards Morata again. Here's Rabiot. Cleared away by Sarr, who's just come on the pitch. Of course, the ball looks to drop for Corona, but there is Chiesa. Do you think Porto can hold on? It's going to be a difficult task now, that's for sure. As Arta gets past Marega. The advantage was initially played from the referee after a foul from Marega, but the referee has pulled it back for a Juventus 3 kick, and here is the goal scorer for Juve, Chiesa, on this left-hand side. Aaron Ramsey now, Juan Cuadrado. Obviously, as well, if Juve just get one and it goes to extra time, there will be tired legs from Porto in extra time as Cuadrado whips it in now towards Chiesa. And that is 2-1 to Juventus. Federico Chiesa, once again for Juventus, brings this tie back level. And the Italian has been crucial for Juventus. We looked at Ronaldo ahead of tonight. Can he be the one to get Juve back in this tie and into the last 8? But it's been Federico Chiesa who this time pops up with a header. It's a sensational ball from the right-hand side from Juan Cuadrado. And it's towards Chiesa, who scored in the first leg, scored this evening early in the second half. And Chiesa is there, unopposed. Janko is the nearest man to him, but he doesn't jump with him. Chiesa's there with an easy header. And unlike Morata managed in the first half, heads it above the goalkeeper, Marquezan, who managed to get a glove to it, but it wasn't strong enough to keep it out. And we are now level. It is 3-3 on aggregate. It is 2-1 on the night to Juventus. And what a turning point that red card was for Taremi. How stupid can you be? Kicking the ball away, that second yellow card. And it is now 3-3 on aggregate, 2-1 to Juve. There's a brief stoppage now, but we do have confirmation that that goal does stand. It is 2-1 to Juventus. I said it would be difficult after that red card for Porto to hold on. But wow, what a performance from Federico Chiesa. 3 goals for him in this tie, 2 goals tonight. And Juventus now leads by 2-1. And Porto are really going to struggle now to stop Juventus, who are growing in confidence as the minutes go on. And what a completely different second half we've had to the first. We were talking at half-time about Porto being a difficult side to face in the last 8 with how well drilled they are. But that moment of stupidity from Taremi after Juventus had already gained confidence from a Chiesa goal has completely turned this tie on its head. And Pepe concedes the free kick now about 40 or so yards out for being late on Morata. And it's a Matip-like reaction from Pepe at conceding that free kick. He believes that Morata dived or went to ground easily, but it's certainly a free kick, I can tell that. But let's have a look at a few of your comments quickly, as this tie has completely been turned on its arse. And Juventus have a free kick in a dangerous position now. Cuadrado and Ronaldo both stood over it. Adam Cavani saying 3-1 on aggregate. No, it's 3-3 on aggregate, mate. It's 2-1 on the night. Let's have a look. Kate 2.0 asking who got sent off. It was Taremi who was shown a red card for Juventus. For Porto against Juventus. The ball's in from Cuadrado. It's not a good one. Can it fall to Ronaldo again? No, it can't. It's cleared away from Porto, but they just lack anything going forwards now since Taremi was sent off. They're finding it even harder to get out, and the ball's whipped in from Cuadrado once again. It's Bonucci, who's so far forward for Juventus on the left now, and he gets back past Janko with a bit of luck, tries to get a shot underway. It's blocked by Salisu and out for a Juventus corner. Porto really under the cosh right now. Juventus growing in confidence, have done. Oh, and I tell you what, I was wondering what the VAR was from the goal. And what's happened is, after the goal, Morata has gone into the goal to kick the ball into the net again. And Marquezan, the Porto goalkeeper, maybe kicked out a tiny bit, which made Morata throw himself to the floor. I looked at it, clearly decided there wasn't enough in it. I've seen it. There's a clear intent to kick Morata there, but he hardly touches him, and it's awful gamesmanship from Morata to throw himself to the floor then. And of course, Marquezan has remained on the pitch, and Porto remain under the cosh here. 3-3 on aggregate, 2-1 to Juventus on the night. And there were a couple of comments saying 3-1 on aggregate. I don't know whether I've said that by mistake or something, but it's definitely 3-3 on aggregate. It was 2-1 to Porto in the first leg, 2-1 to Juventus tonight. Porto down to 10 men. That is the turning point in this tie. That Taremi red card. A huge advantage for Juventus after they'd just scored to put themselves back in the tie. And Alexandro looks through towards Ronaldo. It's just behind him and runs to Rabiot, who was offside, and the linesman's flag is up. Elevator Kid saying if Sevilla get 2 or more goals, it goes to extra time. Yes, they have scored once again. They have scored against Dortmund. And Nesri scoring for Sevilla means it's 5-3 on aggregate. What a tie that has been. And can Dortmund hold on there? Remember, Sevilla will need to score 2 more for that to go to extra time over there. Emre Can gave a penalty away, apparently. Oh, here it is now. Alexandro forwards to Ronaldo on the left-hand side. His first touch is heavy, and it's a good tackle by Salisu. I can't believe it. You know, that Chiesa goal, there wasn't too long between that and the first yellow card for Taremi, and then he gets a second booking for such a silly thing to kick the ball away like he did in a game of this importance for Porto. I'm sure he'll get the hairdryer treatment at full time. Or maybe, you know, the video that does the rounds on social media where the manager goes around and slapping every player in the face. Taremi will certainly need to apologise to his fellow Porto players after this, because a moment of stupidity, a moment of anger has completely changed this tie. Rabiot strikes from distance. It's saved by the goalkeeper, and Aaron Ramsey gets there for the rebound, but he is once again in an offside position. But Marcus Sand did well to get down for the initial save. I was going to criticise him for putting it back into what looked like a dangerous area, but looking at it back, he's actually done quite well to get that out of a dangerous area. There was quite a few Juventus players that were offside in the end. But yeah, just looking at the 2 Juventus goals back, Chiesa, the first goal is a tremendous finish, a lovely first-time finish into the top corner. And the second one, he takes the header for a small player. He takes it beautifully. It was a free header. He wasn't under much pressure from any of the Porto players, but it's a lovely header. He did better than a much bigger Morata did in the first half to make sure the header goes over Marcus Sand in the Porto goal and into the back of the net. And we are now level on aggregate. And if the score stays like this, extra time is looming. But in order for it to go to extra time, Porto will have to hold on for 20 minutes more with 10 men. And Juventus have grown in confidence in this second half as it's gone on, with Chiesa's goals sandwiching a silly red card where Taremi picked up 2 bookable offences in the space of 2 minutes. First for a poor challenge, and then minutes later, like a minute or 2 later, for booting the ball away. And I mentioned Juventus players surrounding the referee afterwards that I didn't like to see, but it worked. And Taremi walked off the pitch with his head in his hands after that moment of stupidity. And Juventus have only grown in confidence since then. And Chiesa has been on the score sheet again since then. And Juventus looks so much stronger than they did in the first half. Let's have a look at your comments. What do you think in here? People saying it's looking good for my prediction of 3-1. Yeah, well, I just feel gutted for Porto. You know, I praised them at half-time and how good they looked with their defensive shape, how solid they looked, how strong they looked, how difficult they looked to beat, how poor Juve were, how the Porto through Taremi and Marega were always a threat on the counter-attack as Chiesa just burst through there but can't get it under control. But, you know, that goal for Chiesa gave Juve a little bit of confidence, and then the stupidity. I honestly cannot believe that red card. It's just stupid, and it's completely changed this tie. And as I said, he'll have a lot of apologising to do in the changing rooms after the game, because Porto were so close to completing something brilliant here in Turin. I still have confidence that with 11 players on the pitch, they could have held on and they could have got through this tie. Even at 1-1 on the night, they looked good going forwards. Juventus looked weak at the back. and they weren't exactly creating too much. Porto were looking solid. Their shape was looking good, but that red card has changed everything, and the shape of Porto hasn't looked the same at all. And Juventus are finding it too easy now. Just over 15 minutes to go. I think it won't be long before Juve score again and put this game to bed. A few Porto heads have dropped. I don't think they can quite believe what their fellow teammate has done. What a silly way to get yourself sent off. It really is stupidity at the highest level as well, in the Champions League in the round of 16. Taremi, it was so crucial for Porto, scoring one goal in this tie in the first leg, winning the penalty for the goal tonight with a clever piece of play. I praised him for that. But I just cannot believe how stupid he was to kick the ball away there in a game of this magnitude for Porto. Here's Marega now for Porto. Can they get another away goal? He looks through to find something, to create something for Porto in the second half, but they can't create anything, and Juventus win the ball back. Here is Pepe. It's flicked over the top from Oliveira, and Marega looks to burst through. I think he may have been offside anyway. It was a lovely ball through from Uribe, but Marega couldn't get it under control. I do think he's straight offside anyway. I think the flag may have been up anyway. Here's Arta. Advantage played as he's brought down by Uribe, and he's brought down again. I think he may be booked next time the ball goes out. Uribe. Here's Arta again for Juventus. Goes over to the right-hand side, from which Cuadrado produced that delicious ball that was so inviting for the header of Chiesa for Juventus' second on the night. Here is Morata now for Juventus. Cuadrado, who got the assist for that second Juve goal, but looked so shaky defensively in the first half. I don't know what Bonucci has done there. He's looked for Cuadrado, but he's completely overhit the pass, and it's gone out for a throw-in. But two changes for Juventus. It will be Bonucci who comes off, the skipper. De Ligt will come on to replace him, and I can also see Weston McKennie, who, as I mentioned at the start of this watch-along, has recently signed permanently for Juve after it was initially a loan move. I believe it's now been agreed for a permanent transfer at the end of the season. Weston McKennie from Schalke. He will also come on, and it will be Aaron Ramsey, of course, a former Premier League player, formerly of Arsenal, who is replaced for Weston McKennie, the youngster. Two hopeful changes for Juve as they look to go on and win this tie now against the 10 men of Porto. And we thought Ronaldo would be important for Juventus tonight and over this tie, but it's been Chiesa who has scored all three of Juventus's goals in this tie. A lovely finish for their first tonight and a wonderful header for their second. Sandwiching a silly sending off for Taremi, and Porto, two yellow cards in very quick succession. The last one for kicking the ball away. Here's Alexandro over to Chiesa on this left-hand side for Juventus. Can he cause problems once more? He goes sideways to Arthur. Rabiot back to Arthur. Arthur over to Alexandro. Juventus patiently waiting and opening. They know one will come. Here's Arthur. 10 men, Porto. Look out of energy and out of ideas. Cuadrado looks to try and skip past Corona, but can't. By the way, Diaz came on as well at the same time. I'll let you know as soon as I know who he replaced. Diaz for Porto, that is, who was slotted in a left wing-back position. Here is Ronaldo now for Juventus. Can he create something? Here is Alvaro Morata, who looks for a chip ball to Weston McKennie, the substitute, who heads square to Ronaldo. But Marquissan does really well to catch that and prevent Juventus. And Ronaldo from a really good opportunity there. It was the right idea from Weston McKennie, who couldn't quite head a goal, head his effort goal bound, but did really well to try and square the ball in the end. But Marquissan was out quickly to catch. Let's have a look in the comments again. to see what's going on here. A lot of people back in Juventus now. Bless me. After the game has been completely turned on its head after that red card. I'd be intrigued to see what you think in the comments. Do you think Porto would have held on if it weren't for that red card? Or do you think Juve would have inevitably turned it around anyway after Chiesa got them back in the game, as Rabiot looks to start something again for Juventus? Cuadrado from the right-hand side whips one in. Ronaldo heads, but just got across it too much, and it heads wide. A collector's item that, as Ronaldo has a look of disappointment on his face. Everything was right for him there, but the finish. The ball was inch perfect. He rose well, as we see him do so often. I think he did try and square it, actually. I think he saw Morata running in at the far post. I'm trying to explain how he's got that so wrong, Cristiano Ronaldo. But certainly a collector's item header from him, as it was so poor. Comment here suggesting that Porto may have won if they didn't go down to 10 men, and I completely agree. This one, I'm not putting it on screen because of the name of the person who's commented, but he's put Porto would have won 2-0 in his opinion. A lot of people saying, bless me for when I sneezed, thank you. As they look to release Chiesa again, but the ball from Alexandro had a bit too much pace on it and overruns into Marquis Sant. People pointing out Ronaldo has had quite a poor game like he did in Portugal. I'm just seeing that opportunity for Juventus. Chiesa was offside anyway. But with just over 11 minutes left to play in this one, do you think we'll be heading for extra time? Or do you think Juve will win it in normal time? I can see a third goal for Juventus. I can see my prediction of 3-1 coming off. Can Porto produce a counter-attack with their 10 men? They look good on the counter in the first half. They haven't looked the same in the second after that red card. But can someone find a winner here? As this tie mirrors the first. Porto won the first in Portugal by 2-1. Juventus are winning this one by 2-1. But the difference, Porto are now down to 10 men. And it's all Juventus here after they struggled in the first half against what was a very well-drilled, strong, solid Porto side. But now Juventus build from the back once more. Rabiot. Arta looks in behind for Chiesa, who is the Juve danger man tonight. But once again, Chiesa finds himself offside and Ronaldo turns to him. He's angry at the amount of times the Italian keeps getting caught offside. That line from Porto has worked for them on so many occasions this evening. And Chiesa has been caught offside many times. And they're in no rush to take this. Adam Cavani thinks that Juventus will win this. The ball forwards. Here is Corona for Porto now, who whips the ball in. Here's Oliveira, who scored. He tries to square a header towards Marega. But there's just more Juventus players in the box than Porto ones. And in the end, Porto survive. But they do look like they are struggling right now. Porto creating anything going forwards. Juventus, though, haven't looked good defensively today, have they? Not at all. As Pepe goes over to Corona. Corona has Janko on the overlap. Alexandro just about does enough, but they still have the ball. Porto with Sarr, who goes over to the left-hand side where his fellow substitutes. Diaz is back to Sarr again. Poor pass from him, and Ronaldo wins it back for Juve, who have more pace to their game now. And Rabiot finds Chiesa, who's in on this left-hand side. Ronaldo bursting forwards to join him. Chiesa skips past and tries to bend it past the goalkeeper, who saves well. Morata on the edge of the area tries a volley. And Sergio Oliveira tidies up. But a really good opportunity once again for Chiesa, who did everything but was denied in the end by Marquis Sant, who keeps Porto in this game. And the 10-men Portuguese side now break. Corona Receives it back. Here's Oliveira, who scored for Porto this evening from the spot, of course. What a long time ago that seems. Here is Sarr, who hits it from distance. A powerful effort. Saved by Szczesny. What a hit. Wow. There was some power behind that, I tell you. But what a finish we have to this game. 8 minutes left. Weston McKennie was bursting through, but Arta now instead goes right to Cuadrado. Arta again. 7.5 minutes left of the 90. Here, 2-1. We're heading for extra time as it stands. Porto down to 10 men, looking tired. The high press has faded as Ronaldo bursts through. He's after a foul. The ref tells him to get up. Yeah, definitely. No foul in that for me. And here is Corona now for Porto. Looking to burst past Alexandro. Has he won the throw? Or has he won a free kick? I think he's won the free kick there. Corona. I'm looking at the Ronaldo one back now. Let me have a look again. Oh, yeah, I think it may be a foul. I thought Ronaldo had gone down too easy, but I think looking at it back, I think it is a foul. But yeah, just looking at that Chiesa chance back, and he does really well to skip past the Porto defence, but the shot is saved really, really well by Marquesan. As Porto take their free kick and go all the way back to Marquesan. I don't know what the plan is now for Porto since they've gone down to 10 and Juventus have levelled the score on aggregate. Gone ahead on the evening, of course, with 2 goals from Chiesa. The red card being Taremi being sent off initially for a bad challenge and then minutes later for hoofing the ball away. Marega wins a free kick for Porto inside the Juventus half. And Demiral is called over by the referee for a conversation, it looks like. I don't know if he's going to go into the book, but if he does, he will miss the first leg of the last 8 should Juventus get there. So he'll be keen not to get one this evening. Remember, it was his moment of stupidity in the first half that gave Porto a penalty that was finished by Oliveira and put Porto in a really good position. Cuadrado struggling to deal with Diaz there, who breaks his ankles and puts it through his legs. And here's Marega. Oh, and is that in? No, it's side netting. What a chance for Porto. So close. And Diaz, with quick dancing feet on the left-hand side, completely breaks the defender's ankles, tears him apart, puts it through his legs. And the Juventus player was left with a red face. And what a chance for Porto. Marega turning the ball into the side netting. And I thought that could have been a winner there for Porto. But Juventus go again. Ronaldo, Cuadrado. 5 minutes left of normal time. Here is Arta. People urging Juventus on. Nobody can believe that Porto opportunity. They came so close. Chiesa whips it in. It's headed away by Sarr, was it? Who just about did enough there to tip it from the head of Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, Janko it was. Ronaldo was coming in for a header, and what an important piece of defending that is from Janko. And we're having chances now at either side. What an end to this tie. And what a game we've had. The first half, I thought Porto played really, really well. We had chances for both sides. The second half, we've seen a red card. Chiesa scored with 2 lovely finishes. We've had that brilliant chance for Porto and many more for Juventus. What a game. Here is Arta, who finds Rabiot. He's going to hit it from about 30 yards out, but it goes sailing way over the bar. Adam Cavani says, come on, Juve. This comment, can't believe that Porto didn't score that opportunity. Kate 2.0 says Sevilla, who still need to, are giving it a good go. Bonucci, the skipper, going into this game tonight, you can see frustrated at that Rabiot effort from the bench. And it will allow Porto to take their time with this goal kick. Ball forwards. De Ligt wins the header. Here is Ronaldo, who wins it in the air against. Oh, and here's Chiesa. Chiesa on the left-hand side. Can he find himself a hat-trick? He finds Ronaldo, who thought he earned himself a throw. but I think it's a Porto throw. Yeah, he tried a little dink and it's just not come off for Ronaldo. He thought it had come off Urabi, but as I can see from the replay, it certainly didn't. And it's a Porto throw. And here is Urabi. Corona does really well to skip past Alexandro, some quick feet, and he is dragged down in the end and wins a free kick for Porto. Really well played by Corona there. Yeah, they've got a few tricksters in the side. Porto, we saw before Diaz with his quick feet, pulling it through the legs of, I think it was Cuadrado. And we've just seen there Corona getting past Alexandro with a nice flick between his legs and winning a free kick. But they've given away possession, Porto, and Juventus now have it on the right-hand side with Cuadrado, who got the assist for Chiesa's second with a lovely whipped ball in from the right. And I thought he might have done something similar there, but instead they tried to build it slowly. And here is Chiesa on the left. He whips one in now, headed away by Sarr, but it falls to Juventus once more. Here's Rabiot, Alexandro to De Ligt, the substitute for Juventus. Back to Rabiot on this left-hand side, who looks to whip a ball in again towards Cristiano Ronaldo, who heads it. Pepe clears. He's been so strong defensively for Porto tonight, Pepe. Here's Demiral over to Cuadrado again. Porto very much camped in their own half. The 10 men, the Portuguese giants, trying to hold on here to what they've got. But the red card changed the game here. A brace from Chiesa is sending it to extra time as it goes. But that's a nice first touch from him inside the Porto area. And it's cleared off Morata and out for a throw into Porto with 1 minute left on the clock plus stoppage time. As Porto now bring on the Liverpool loanee Marco Grujic. I'm excited to see him in action. I think from the board I saw, is it Urabi who will be replaced? Yes, it is. Mateus Urabi, who will be replaced for Grujic. And now I have an allegiance. Come on, Porto. Irubi is slightly more attacking than Grujic, so it shows that it's more defensive help. Maybe Porto now see their route through on penalties as Grujic wins the flick on from a throw. Another good thing for bringing Grujic on is his height. We've seen from Juventus, they're trying to toss the ball in the box a lot, and Grujic brings a bit extra height for them in that situation. Here's Corona on the right-hand side for them. Finds Sarr. 5 minutes added on in this one. Will we even get extra time? Here's Demiral to Arta, who looks in behind Morata. Has he avoided the offside? He finishes. The offside flag is up. He did look a good yard offside, hence why my tame reaction. Yeah, he's off. He's off. That Porto line working really well again. It's a lovely finish for Morata, who, as we know, was so crucial for Atletico Madrid last season in the Champions League, getting past Liverpool at Anfield. But this time he strayed offside, and once again that line for Porto working well. 4 minutes left of stoppage time. Haroon says Juve are going to go through. Yeah, I don't think there's a doubt about that now since the red. It's just a matter of how long can Porto hold on for. Ashik wants to see a Porto win. It would be nice. I do think if it weren't for the red card, we would have seen one this evening. But that red card completely changed proceedings. It really did. The ball forwards long now. Grujic wins the header. It falls to Sandro. He finds Rabiot. Morata with a very good first touch. And then he's fouled by Marco Grujic. But advantage is played. Arta looks over the top to Cristiano Ronaldo, who hasn't made his impact on this tie as yet. But there's still time for Cristiano Ronaldo. He only needs a chance. Cuadrado. Alexandro finds Morata on this left-hand side. Chiesa. Arta can't get the ball under control, and Corona wins it back for Porto as they look to break. Here is Marega. There's not too many men going forwards for Porto, and the attack breaks down. They look so tired now, Porto, and they've worked so hard. They're in this defensive shape that they've been for the whole game. They've been down to 10 men for the majority of the second half. A few of the comments think that Juventus may beat Liverpool's next tie in the last day. I've got a feeling we'll get City if we get through tomorrow night. But would you be happy with getting Juventus? I would be, with the way they played for the majority of the night and in the first leg. But they are always a threat, of course. But they do look shaky at the back and have done all game. The difference in the second half is with one men less, Porto haven't been able to put them under as much pressure. And there's Cuadrado. Thunders the bar. He did so well on that right-hand side to skip past the Porto defender there on the left for them. And he produces a wonderful strike from about 20 yards out. Curled effort that's got power behind it as well. And it thunders the crossbar. And Porto survive. Sevilla have scored again, apparently. It's 2-2 on the night. Can they send it to stoppage time? What a night of Champions League football we have here. But we're seeing it now with Cuadrado. He brings it onto his left foot. It's perfect for him. And he curls it. It's got power too. What a game we've had here. But it thunders the crossbar. And I thought we had the winner there. But not quite. And this game looks to be heading to extra time. I see on my screen now Dybala, who is injured, doesn't make the bench tonight. Apparently Sevilla have only got a minute left to get their goal that will send it to extra time. But yeah, as Benjamin says right now, Juventus just struggling to find a winner. Porto look tired. They've defended resiliently across the whole tie. They've been brilliant on the night. We're so unlucky. You know, the red card really changed proceedings here. Came straight after the Chiesa equaliser on the night to make it 1-1. And after then, Porto haven't looked the side that they looked in the 48 minutes before the red card. Not at all. I tell you what, a corner's been given there to Juventus, but it looks to me like it came off Morata last. It looks like it should have been a goal kick to me. But Juventus do have a corner. And let's have a look what happens here as Cuadrado rips it in from the right. Marega heads away. We've got 30 seconds here of stoppage time before we see extra time. Juan Cuadrado finds Chiesa, who scored a brace tonight. He's got 3 for Juventus across the whole tie, but that's a poor pass from him. And this tie will head to extra time. Just 3 seconds left of stoppage time here. Porto have a throw-in on the halfway line. Dortmund have knocked out Sevilla in the other tie this evening. 5-4 on aggregate in that game. Mad. 2-2 on the night after a 3-2. First leg, here's Cuadrado on the right-hand side. He whips a ball forwards. It's cleared away. They've gone deep into the 5th minute of stoppage time. Cuadrado whips another ball in. It's got everything. And it goes towards Ronaldo, who can't control it. And Ronaldo, like in the first leg, has had a pretty poor game. He's been kept quiet from Porto. He's been frustrated. And there, the ball's put through and he just completely miscontrols it. That looks like me when I'm playing in Sunday League, not Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's have a look. I feel like when Marquezan kicks this ball, the referee will blow for the end of the 90 minutes. The ball is forwards from Marquezan. The referee's still not looking at his watch though yet. Grujic, he wants to go home. He doesn't want extra time, the referee. He's hoping that there's a goal soon. Grujic with a lovely turn. And then he goes over to the left where Sarri. We saw a powerful strike from him earlier on. Can he create something here? An opportunity maybe for Porto. Oliveira. Porto just trying to keep the ball. Marco Grujic now. The Liverpool loanee on the ball for Porto, but he doesn't look like he knows what to do. A swivel, a turn, another swivel. Back to Pepe. And the referee does blow the full-time whistle. We will have extra time here. What a game we have had in store. After the first half where Porto went into the break 1-0 up, looking commanding. Juventus having a lot to do. They were 3-1 up on aggregate, Porto. Juventus struck back early in the second half. Chiesa, the goal scorer. And that came Taremi's first yellow card for a poor challenge, a late challenge, definite bookable offence. And then under 2 minutes later, Porto were penalised. The ball fell to Taremi, who must have heard the whistle, volleys the ball away in frustration. A second bookable offence. Juventus players surrounded the referee. They weren't going to let Taremi get away with that one. Taremi's moment of stupidity was the turning point in this one. He was sent off, a red card. And after then, Porto haven't looked the same. Their shape hasn't looked as solid. They haven't looked as strong and as resilient. And Juventus have fought level in this tie. Another goal from Chiesa. Both his finishes tonight have been lovely, especially his first one, first time right into that top corner. But the tie is level. We will have extra time. Porto look tired. We saw Juventus are really knocking at the door. Cuadrado hitting the bar with a lovely effort deep in stoppage time. And before I go into your comments ahead of extra time, I remind you of tonight's sponsors, OneFootball.
This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is the only football app you need to follow thousands of teams, hundreds of leagues and competitions worldwide. It is packed with all the latest news, videos, fixtures, scores, stats, and key dates. And it personalizes the content that you want. It allows you to put your favorite team in, your favorite leagues, the fixtures you want to follow. It is an incredible app that I use, all my friends use, my family use it, everyone I know uses OneFootball. And if you're not using it yet, you need to go and download it.
Well, there we have it. Download OneFootball. I've just had a text off Craig telling us that we are just 11 subscribers off 15K. So that is the target for tonight. Let's get 15K by the end of the stream. So whoever's in the comments now, please spam comments, like, subscribe, share it. Do everything you can. If you're not subscribed to this channel, we're trying big things with this channel. We're hoping to bring you lots of watch-alongs, lots of content. I do a podcast. I do weekly predictions with Craig on the Premier League. There is loads and loads of content coming from Mundo Sporto. What can we bring? You know, maybe let us know in the comments when we get to 15K. What do you want to see from me and Craig? Do you want to see a dual watch-along from me and Craig? They're quite difficult to do, but I'm sure we can pull one together for you if that's what you want. Just get us to 15K. We're 11 subs off. Before I end this stream tonight, I want us to have 15K. So please, if you're not subscribed to Mundo Sporto, make sure you go and do it now. And if you're watching, you watch regularly, please share this on social media. Get more people watching. It's a lovely game we've got here. I hope you're enjoying the watch along. And let's get 15K subscribers by the end of this stream. That would make me over the moon. So that is the target for tonight. We are about to have extra time. It gives us an extra half an hour to get that 15K. Let's get that 15K. Jensk1102 asking if my granny uses that app. Yes, she's a massive fan of Stoke City. She loves OneFootball. She's downloaded it on her iPad and she uses it every week. Facts. Skittle saying this match is hyped. It is. It's a very, very good game. I've enjoyed it. There's been a bit of everything. The game completely turned on its head with that red card. I was so impressed with Porto. But Juventus have capitalised on the red card. They've capitalised on stupidity from Taremi. And two lovely finishes from Chiesa on a night where Ronaldo hasn't been quite at it. Has done really, really well for Juventus, who have levelled the tie and sent it to extra time when they looked down and out at half-time, 3-1 down. It was completely turning its head. Mixtus says Porto with 10 players look better than Juve with 11 players. I agree if we're talking about Juve's first half performance, because then they were really poor. And I think Porto have been resilient in the second half. They've still been defensively sound. Pepe has been outstanding in this game for Porto. And Porto have still been threatening on the attack. I can't get over how powerfully struck that strike was from Sarr earlier on in the game. They still look threatening going forwards, albeit not too threatening. And for me, if anyone's going to get a winner in this game, it'll be Juventus. I said 3-1 before the game. I didn't say 3-1 after extra time, but I do think it'll be 3-1. Nathan Lawrence says, Jack the GOAT. Thank you very much. Subscribe, Nathan. Please get everyone else you know to subscribe. Sohan says, was it a penalty, I believe? Are you talking about Porto's goal? Yes, that was a penalty. Or if you're thinking, will this go to penalties? we'll soon see. By the way, I've forgotten to start the bloody clock again. But you know, I'm only 10 seconds, but well, no, 15 seconds behind on the clock, and I'll try and change that now. There we go. I should be live now with it. Yes, I am. See, good recovery. But yeah, Adam Cavani says that Taremi got sent off on purpose because he needed the toilet. That's the only feasible excuse, to be honest with you, because it was such a pathetic red card. I can't believe you do that in a game of this magnitude, to be honest with you. The game has been stopped because the referee decided that he wanted a touch. So it'll be a drop ball to Porto now. Desperate. It was a lovely control, actually, from the ref there. Brought it down. Lovely. Really lovely from him. Well, here is the Porto goalkeeper. Marquesin on the ball. Kicks forwards. Porto win the throw. Well, Craig's going to keep me updated, I believe, with the subscriber count. We're 6 subscribers away now. Keep pushing that. Remember, as I said, 15K by the end of this game is the target. Thank you all for joining me for this stream today. Thank you for subscribing. Really, really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed this watch along. I've been helped by what has been a fantastic night of Champions League football. But Porto look to go through now. I hate it when that happens. Corona looked to get past Cuadrado. Cuadrado's off balance and he tries to claim that he's been fouled. He grabs the ball with his hands. He's now in the face of the referee moaning, but you can't do that. He's got a yellow card for his reaction, I believe. And yeah, it's just silly from Cuadrado, who I've not been impressed by defensively tonight at all. Corona tried to skip past him initially. There was an elbow in his face, albeit accidental. And then Cuadrado was just simply off balance. He falls to the ground, handles the ball, free kick given against him, and his reaction is one of anger and disappointment. And he receives a yellow card for being a bit bitter with the referee about that decision. But what can Sergio Oliveira create for Porto? He has a free kick. It's whipped in. It's a poor free kick. Doesn't beat the first man. Weston McKennie heads away. Oliveira back in. There's Morego with the flick on. Here's Sarr. Weren't cleared too far by the lit. It's back in towards Grujic. Szczesny is there to save well. As the ball is thrown out now to Alexandro on the left-hand side for Juventus. And Juventus still have the ball. It's a bit of an unorthodox pass there from Cristiano Ronaldo. He does so on the floor. Here is Demirbay. Finds Arta. Did really well to get that under control and find Cuadrado. Skipped over the challenge from Oliveira. Cuadrado whips the ball in. Weston McKennie gets his head to it. There's Morata. Ronaldo tries to skip past Grujic, but Grujic defends it well. And Ronaldo through the legs of Alexandro towards Rabiot. Alexandro. I'm looking at the lineup for Porto now. It is very much a 6-2-1 formation. They are holding on for all they can. There is a lot of tired legs for them. They've been down to 10 since the 49th minute. And they've played so well tonight, Porto. They deserve a lot of praise. The game was completely turned on its head with that red card after a moment of stupidity from their striker, Taremi, as the ball's whipped in by Juventus from the right-hand side once more. And it's a half clearance from Porto. Here's Weston McKennie, the substitute who turns well. It's blocked well by Janko, and Pepe does really well to win it back for Porto. And he is fouled by Alexandro, preventing the quick counter from Porto. Clearly, Juve recognised Porto's ability on the counter. And Pepe, who's been so good for Porto tonight, wins the free kick. I saw a comment there saying Pepe is a beast. Elevator Kid says Porto still have a chance of going through. They absolutely do. Comment here, can't read out the name, calls Pepe quite simply the GOAT. Harrison 10 says in the other games, Sevilla were very unlucky. They went out losing 5-4 on aggregate, drawing 2-2 on the night to Dortmund. Very unlucky. I hear that was a very good tie as well. What a nice night of Champions League football we've had. I'm so glad that you lot have been here to join me for it. The ball over the top, looking for Chiesa. Pepe once again, calm, composed, defending really well. And he puts the ball forwards towards Diaz on this left-hand side for Porto. Who looks to skip past Cuadrado. He gets a foot in. It will be a Porto throw. Mark Caldwell comparing Pepe to Brock Lesnar this evening. Yeah, he brings authority. He brings leadership. He brings determination, calmness to the back of Porto, who are set up so strong defensively. And he is a focal point for that, the Porto captain, the aging centre-half, as it's now whipped in from the right from Janko to Oliveira, the Porto goal scorer this evening. Weston McKennie just does enough to clear away. Ronaldo. Here is Oliveira. But Juventus win the free kick for a foul on Ronaldo. And there's about 9 minutes left of the first half of extra time. Let me know what you think in the comments. How do you think this will end? And remember, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. We're not far away from 15k. Just 6 subs. And I refuse to finish this stream until we get there. Here is Arta. Over to the right-hand side where Cuadrado is. I'll leave this on here from Mark Caldwell. Arta, Cuadrado. Pepe does really well to win that back for Porto. He finds Diaz, but Diaz loses possession. But then he presses really high to win it back. I think the referee will give a free kick to Porto as well. That was really good recovery from Diaz. You know, he was wasteful in possession, gave the ball away, but pressed highly, won it back. Oliveira has just been booked for asking for Alexandro to go into the book. But I believe that means that a big player for Porto, Oliveira, will now be suspended for the first leg of the quarter-final should Porto go through. So that is a big booking. There's been a few stupid moments from Porto today, haven't there? And they'll be out without a key man for them for the first leg of the last 8 should they go through. Elevator Kid thinks it will finish 3-1 to Juventus. Samuel O says penalties would be crazy. Yeah, they would. I've never done a penalty shootout on Monday Sporto. It would be exciting to do one. But I don't think it will get there personally, as Diaz skips through, but it comes off Cuadrado last. Porto have a corner. Jenska 1102 says, will you be cocky again if Liverpool win tomorrow? No, I won't personally. Not at all. There's no reason to be cocky as a Liverpool fan right now with where we are. So, no, as simple as that. But thank you for the super chat. As Oliveira goes short, and it's a lovely turn, and it's clipped in. Marega! It's straight at Szczesny in the end from close range. But what a cleverly worked corner routine from Porto, who come so close. And I thought Porto had found the winner there. I really did. Here is Rabiot, who looks for a ball over the top to Ronaldo. Janko does really well. Chiesa fouled the number 17, Corona, I believe. I think that he's given it the way of Porto. Chiesa isn't happy with that. He thinks Juve should have won the free kick. Yeah, and I do too. I think it's a foul on Corona's part, if anything. Just outside the box for Juve as well. Yeah, definitely. Seems to strike Chiesa, and I can understand why Chiesa's a bit disappointed to see that go the other way. Juve are so lucky, says Mr. Pinaldo or Penandez, says Skittle. It was so cleverly worked, that corner. Oliveira to Corona, who just turned his man far too easily. And I really thought Marega was going to put this game beyond Juventus with that header. But it almost comes off his shoulder. Nathan Lawrence with a very bold prediction here, suggesting that if it goes to pens, Ronaldo will miss. Well, based on tonight, it wouldn't surprise me. But what a moment that would be. Marega, was he fouled by De Ligt? Ref says no. Advantage. Remember, we are close to 15k. Get us there as Juventus are breaking through. Morata's pass is poor, though. He's been poor tonight too. And here is Diaz. It's won back by Juventus. Was Weston McKennie onside? Ref and his linesman says yes. Here's Juan Cuadrado. Forza Juve, says Sabija HD. The game is 2-1 to Juventus on the night. We are tied 3-3 on aggregate. Porto are down to 10. They look tired. They're playing what is a 6-3 formation to try and hold on to what they've got here and take it to penalties. They've also threatened on the counter. They had a brilliant chance from a corner a moment ago. Marega perhaps should have done better. Here's Diaz, who loses it in Porto's half again. Rabiot getting in the way of his teammate Cuadrado, though, but Juventus still have the ball, and it's Chiesa who has a brace for Juve tonight. He tries to turn, but I think he's pulled up with cramp, and Diaz has taken the ball off him. There's many tired legs out there. Now, Chiesa is one of them who has all 3 Juventus goals during this tie, but he looks shattered now as Oliveira is down, holding his ankle. He's won the free kick for Porto. Mister pointing out that Piemonte Calcio are playing poorly. Is that just a meme now, Piemonte Calcio, based on the lack of FIFA name? I can see now for Juve, Arta is coming off for Kulusevski. And they look like they're making another change too. It is Chiesa who, as I just mentioned, the man who scored all 3 of Juventus's goals in this tie, who has been replaced by Bernardeschi. So 2 changes for Juventus. I could see that Chiesa one come in. He's been phenomenal for Juve tonight. He's the reason they've got this far. And it's him who has been replaced now as Juventus look to find a winner against 10 men. Porto now, and the ball is in behind towards Ronaldo, but the Porto keeper is out. Well, I think he got the ball there, but that was a dangerous challenge. Rather than going with his hands, the goalkeeper went with his feet instead. I think he feared Ronaldo going in. Ronaldo rolled around on the floor. He certainly didn't think the goalkeeper got the ball, but to me, with the naked eye, I think the goalkeeper did get the ball first. VAR will have a look at it, of course. But it was a weird decision from the goalkeeper there, and a dangerous one to go with his feet. But it did look like he got it just about right. Ronaldo gets up holding his arm. He looks in agony, to be honest with you. I think he landed awkwardly after the challenge from Marcus Sant. But yeah, he went with his feet, and yeah, it's interesting because if a player goes in like that with 2 feet, the way the goalkeeper did, they're sent off, regardless of winning the ball. But, you know, goalkeeper's a different ballgame. And then I saw Bernardeschi, who's just come on, has picked up a yellow card, I believe, for a poor foul on Marko Grujic. So he receives a yellow card. And what a game we have here. But Grujic is still on the floor, receiving treatment. Ronaldo still, holding his shoulder. Let me have a look at the comments. Remember, push, subscribe to Mundo Sporto. We're not far away from 15k subscribers. Yuvraj has just subscribed. Thank you very much. We are so close to 15k now. I'm waiting for the message from Craig to let me know how many more is left. I am crossing my fingers that by the end of this, you lot have all enjoyed it and that we have 15,000 subscribers on Mundo Sporto. What a achievement that will be for us. And there it is, the message from Craig. 15,000 subscribers. I don't know if you can see that. Thank you very much for 15k to all of you. Thank you for joining this stream. A massive achievement for us. We only started this in December. Craig and Connor started this in December. And for this channel to get to 15k, thank you everyone who have subscribed and who watch these and who comment and share and like and subscribe. Just thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed the rest of the game. Over the moon, 15,001 subscribers. Everybody make sure you're still liking the video, you're still sharing it. The sky's the limit, hopefully, for this channel. There's the lit on the ball now for Juventus. Cuadrado on the right-hand side. Here's Cuadrado. Skips him from the right. Finds Alexandra on the left. Over to the left-hand side where Ronaldo is again. Here is the cross from Bernardeschi. It's blocked by Janko. It's a corner. Road to 1 million, says Mason E. Thank you. Yuvraj says, love your content. Congrats to you and Craig. Don't forget Connor too. He does a lot of work behind the scenes that none of you see. Me and Craig talking here. We do the easy job. The ball whipped in towards Morata, headed away by Marega. Here's Cuadrado, who takes a lot of time. 2 minutes stoppage time. A reminder for you there. Skittle believes that Porto will win 3-1 on penalties. De Ligt whips across him with his left foot. It's headed away by Marco Grujic. I'm delighted to say he's back up on his feet after that injury scare before. Here is Oliveira. Given away to De Ligt. Juan Cuadrado. Over to the left-hand side where Bernardeschi is. Bernardeschi to Cristiano Ronaldo. Can he do something this evening? Tackled by Janko, but he's still got the ball and he gives it away. Marco Grujic. It's not been Ronaldo's night. As I say, he only needs one opportunity, but he's had a few this evening and he's been pretty poor, Cristiano Ronaldo. Mohammed says, I hope Porto holds its own. Jensk 1102 says, congrats with 15k. Thank you very much, Jensk. And thanks again for the super chat, mate. Really, really appreciate that. I'm not going to say that backwards. I refuse to do it. I'm not falling for that one. You're not going to get me that easily, Jensk. You're going to have to try more for that. But thank you very much for the super chat. And as I say, both, well, me, Craig, Connor, we're all buzzing. This is a channel that we're putting a lot of effort in and we're trying to provide you with lots of content. And that is the halftime whistle. It is still Juventus 2, Porto 1. It is still 3-3 on aggregate. I'll just reset the clock for you lot. But yeah, massive night for this channel. We have now hit 15k subscribers if you've just joined us. And it has been all thanks to you guys. You know, a terrific game we've had here. But it is half time of extra time. It is still Juve 2, Porto 1 on the night. 3-3 on aggregate. There's been the best chance of that half of football actually was Marega for Porto, for 10 men Porto. His header from a corner, a brilliantly worked corner for Porto. I thought he was going to put Porto back in control in this tie, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. And a lot of you are now starting to believe that this game will go to penalties. A lot of players out there looking tired now. It hasn't been Cristiano Ronaldo's night. I've had a couple of predictions in here suggesting that Cristiano Ronaldo may miss a penalty if it goes to penalties, the way he's been performing tonight. Thank you, everyone who are thanking us for 15k subscribers. We couldn't have done it without you guys. Adam Cavani says, who's Connor? Connor is the guy who does all the behind-the-scenes things. So, for example, all the graphics made on here is Connor. You know, for example, the graphic I showed at the start with the team sheet, the graphic you see at the side, it's all Connor. All the behind-the-scenes stuff is Connor. Me and Craig come on the stream, we speak to you, but all the stuff behind the screens, the things you don't see, the editing, the stuff like that, that is all Connor. So, you know, it's not just Craig, it's not just Craig and me. There is Connor there as well, and don't forget to leave him out. Don't forget to include him in your congratulations. But a comment here from Samira, a name I've seemed to have inherited, Jack Nino. Porto to win on penalties, apparently. I'll take it, Jack Nino. I've been called worse things on this channel, that's for sure. But yeah, a lot of people saying in the comments, Connor helps with this channel and Anfield Agenda. He does all the editing stuff. And I can see now Porto have made another change. Marega, who missed that great chance earlier on, is replaced by the number 28 for I think it's Martinez. Oh no, it's Felipe Anderson, is it? Felipe Anderson? I've not quite been able to see. It's either Anderson or Martinez. I can't see if it's 28 or 29. It's definitely not. It's definitely not Felipe Anderson. So I think it's Martinez who has replaced Marega. So a strike change for Porto. But can they hold on for 15 minutes? Can this game go on to penalties? Addison says, Jack the Beast. Thank you. I've got some weird names on this channel now. Alexandra on the left-hand side. This game is very stretched, says Elevator Kid. It absolutely is. Cuadrado now on the edge of the area. Grujic thumps clear. People asking who I think is better, Messi or Ronaldo. Messi for me always has been Messi. But we should, I hate the comparison. I personally think Messi is better, but, there's two incredible footballers that we've been so blessed with in our generation of football. They're outstanding and they've pushed each other to be better. The ball from Alexandra over to the left-hand side where it's Bernardeschi who replaced Chiesa, who scored all Juventus's 3 goals over the course of this tie. Cuadrado whips the ball in from the right-hand side now. Pepe once again there with a header. Rabiot gets it under control. Kulusevski tries to put the ball across. Sar's there. Can't get it away. It falls to Rabiot, who finds Alexandra on the edge of the area. Bernardeschi on the left-hand side for Juve. Backwards to Alexandro, who turns on the ball. Looks to try and beat Oliveira. He finds Demiral. Rabiot, Cuadrado. Oh, looks behind and finds a lovely ball and gets it back. It's Cuadrado now. Cuadrado looks to whip a ball in. It's a lovely one. But Pepe is once again there to head away. And, people will talk about their man of the match tonight. We'll talk about Chiesa and how important his goals have been. But for me, it has to be Pepe. He's just been there all the time. He's been a pivotal part of this Porto defence. Across the 2 legs, actually. And once more, he is there to head clear across, a dangerous cross into the box. Let's have a look into your comments. I think more and more of you will be thinking, I forgot to start the clock again. I think many more of you will be thinking that this may head to extra time now. We've played 107 minutes and 52 seconds right now. I'm going to start the clock again when it hits 108 minutes. But yeah, I did forget it. And I said I already forget it twice in a game. But I have done. So there's my apologies. But there you go. But yeah, people agreeing with me that Pepe has been immense. He's been outstanding. And he's the reason that Porto are still in this tie. But here's Ronaldo on the left-hand side. Puts it onto his stronger right foot. It's blocked once again by Pepe. And Juventus have a corner from the left-hand side. Adam Cavani saying Jack's excited about the match. Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm delighted to have 15K. It's absolutely wonderful. And, it's a short corner towards the near post where De Ligt's there. It's blocked. Now can Porto get away? It's thumped clear. Falls to Cuadrado. Still in the Porto half. Porto can't get out right now. The ball thumped forwards again towards Bernardeschi on the left. For Juventus, Corona heads clear. Elevator Kid points out the outstanding defensive display that Porto have put in tonight. Even doing well with 10 men. Promising for Juventus, but Sarr is there. And he's won Juve the corner. Wow. This game is outstanding. The substitute for Juventus, Kulusevski, dances through the defence, gets past Janko, gets a shot underway. It's blocked by Sarr and it comes back off Kulusevski and goes out for a goal kick. But I thought Kulusevski was going to get the winner there. Dance past Janko and looked to have bought himself a really good opportunity. But for a wonderful block from Porto, once again, this time it was Sarr and not Pepe. And Porto, after a long goal kick and a header from Weston McKennie, have won themselves a throw inside the Juventus half, and it's short to Grujic. It looked to me like a foul throw from Corona, but the referee didn't see anything wrong with it, and Grujic finds Sarr. Can we see a shot? Can we see Porto? Mister, he's run out of battery on his phone. You better get the charger. And here's Diaz, who gets in behind. He slips. Cuadrado falls too. Can he get a shot underway? He goes backwards towards Grujic, who Grujic hits one. It's blocked. Sandro clears away. I'm having heart palpitations here. What a game this is. And Porto themselves with an opportunity there. And now Juventus break with Ronaldo. Headed strongly by Janko. Corona claimed for a Juventus handball, but the ref didn't see anything wrong with it. He gives a throw to Juventus, who are passing it along the back now. Demiral. David Roosmailer saying a goal for Porto ends the game. I think a goal for either side at this point ends the game, to be honest with you, mate. We're in the dying stages of this one. Bruno's with us now. He says, hey, Jack. Hey, mate. A lot of people joining this stream now, hoping that this game goes to penalties as Cuadrado whips it in. And a corner has been given. Porto players are fuming about that decision. Sarr believes that it came off a Juventus head last. But Juventus get the decision. They get the corner. And it will be Bernardeschi from the left-hand side. Bernardeschi does a short one to Kalevski, the substitute for Juve. Really good defending Corona, who wins Porto the free kick. And Porto just about doing enough. Let me know what you think of this performance from Porto. You know, with 11 men, they were so strong in the first half. I'm just looking at this back now where Cuadrado slipped before, and it looks like it may have been a handball. And I'm so confused that hasn't gone to VAR. But it does look to me, it's unfortunate if it's given because Cuadrado has slipped, but there's no doubt that it's hit his arm and it's affected the play. So it's an interesting decision, and it's one that may hurt Porto later on. If Porto do go out of this competition, they'll be asking questions of the referee and VAR for that decision, that's for sure. But 8 minutes before penalties, what a game we have had here. As I said, a resilient Porto performance. They were so good in the first half, so strong. They were 3-1 up on aggregate at the break. Then Chiesa got an early goal in the second half. Taremi then stupidly got himself sent off, and Porto have struggled since, but they've held on. Chiesa then equalised on aggregate, went ahead for Juve on the night with a lovely headed finish from a cross from the right from Cuadrado. This game is so open, it's end-to-end right now. As we've seen, tired legs in extra time. That's a yellow card now for Rabiot, who looked to try and stop the quick counter from Porto. People noticing that I am slightly behind. I am, but hopefully you stay with me for this. Hopefully it goes to penalties as well. We've got a real game on our hands here. Leandro asking who scored for Juve. It's been a brace from Chiesa, mate. The same player that scored for Juve in the first leg. His first was a very good finish. And the second was a lovely cushioned header from a lovely ball in from the right by Juan Cuadrado. Dylan pointing out that we have hit 15k. We certainly have. What a night this has been for us as a channel, and what a night it has been for Champions League action. 5-4 ended on aggregate between Dortmund and Sevilla. 2-2 on the night. Sevilla were unlucky from what I've heard. And Porto have been so resilient here, so strong with 10 men after looking so good in the first half of this game with 11. So strong. And we've spoken the comments all evening, suggesting that maybe Porto would have gone through in the 90 minutes if Taremi hadn't stupidly got himself sent off for a second bookable offence after a moment of stupidity where he kicked the ball away. But here's a free kick for Porto, 30 yards out. Oliveira hits it. It's a goal! It somehow crept in. And Oliveira. I cannot believe that. The free kick was about 30 yards out, and Oliveira has hit it strongly. And it's managed to creep under the Juve wall, under the arm of Szczesny. European nights, eh? Wow. Porto. Oh, Ronaldo. The wall completely turned their back. It goes through the legs of Ronaldo. It's not a strong wall whatsoever. It deflects. It goes. Szczesny gets a glove to it, but he can't keep it out. And I can't believe it. It's a terrible way to concede. And Ronaldo, who has been poor on the night, is one of the men in the wall who turned his back, isn't strong, It deflects off him, goes through his legs, and Porto lead. And Sergio Oliveira scores a penalty, scores a free kick, and Porto, the 10 men of Porto, who were reduced to 10, Taremi got sent off for a moment of stupidity. Somehow, Porto have held on here. Pepe has been outstanding, but Olivier, and a chance for Ronaldo now, but a great save by the Porto goalkeeper. And oh my God, I genuinely cannot believe this. 2-2 to Porto. Juve need 2, but they've got one back. Rabiot scores. The corner comes in from the left, and Rabiot's there with a header. It's not over yet. We won't have penalties here. At the minute, Porto are going through on away goals, but the corner comes in from the left. Bernardeschi, Rabiot rises above everyone. And you've got to laugh. What a game we've got here. And Rabiot just rose above everyone else and guided his header into the top corner. I can't get words out. I'm stunned. You have to love the Champions League, and you have to praise Porto for the game they've given Juventus. We spoke about Juventus. We spoke about the 2 goals they've conceded tonight. You know, that free kick was sloppy to give away. The penalty was poor to give away. Clever from the player who was then stupid to get himself sent off, Taremi. But it was clever from him to win the penalty. Juventus have defensively been poor. But the red card brought this game into life just after Juve had levelled it, and Chiesa, the goal scorer there, that rose Juventus in confidence. But currently, as it stands, it's Juventus 3, Porto 2. It's 4-4 on aggregate, and Porto will go through on away goals. And we're now seeing Oliveira, who has scored twice tonight, once from the spot, once from a free kick from distance that was poorly defended by the Juventus wall. And he is being replaced now by Loom for Porto. There is 2 minutes plus stoppage time in the second half of extra time for Porto to hold on as the header is flicked to Marco Grujic. Marco Grujic on the right-hand side tries to get past Rabiot, who has already been booked. He fouls Grujic. It's a free kick. Let me have a look in the comments, see what you think of this madness. I've not been able to come over and see, but what a bizarre game we've had in Turin. And Porto are going to be a threat to anyone in that last 8. They've been so strong tonight. They've played the majority of the second half with 10 men. They've played all of extra time with 10 men. And Porto will try and hold on here. They have a free kick by the corner flag. Just keep it in the corner, Porto. A lot of people saying, come on, Porto, hold on. No one can quite believe it. It was a poor goal for Juventus to concede. We thought it was heading to extra time. It's not to be. The ball put into the box. Marco Grujic is there. I said he was brought on for additional height, and it has helped in that department. But his cross comes back off Grujic and out for a Juventus goal kick. He can't believe it, but it did look like the right decision to me. 1 minute left plus stoppage time. Thank you once again for 15K. What a game we have had in store here. Bernardeschi finds Cristiano Ronaldo, who has been pretty poor in this game. Some fancy flicks through from Weston McKennie, but Porto regain the ball. Here is Diaz as we enter the final minute. Diaz through to Sarr. Pepe. Pepe looks through. Szczesny does really, really well. And here is Kulusevski. The ball forwards. Now, Szczesny gets it at his feet and goes over to the right-hand side. Cuadrado, what can he do? Juan Cuadrado whips across in. There's the lit. He goes down. Is that a penalty? It looks to me like a penalty. The ref gives a corner, but VAR. Oh, I can't quite believe what's going on here, to be honest. There's 3 minutes of stoppage time. There's a big shout for a penalty there on the lit. Remember, earlier on when the game was level on aggregate at 3-3. Oh, no, he just gets there. The number 4 just gets there. Oh, what a tackle that may turn out to be. I thought, seeing that at first glance, I thought that may have been a penalty. But watching it back, the number 4 for Porto got there first and defended really well, but it's come back out to Kuleveski. It's blocked well by Sarr. Over to the left-hand side where Morata is for Juve. He's had a pretty poor night. Can he get past Janko? No, he can't. It's a corner. Will we see Szczesny coming forwards? What a tackle that was from late before. I think many people in the comments, many people, including myself, thought with the naked eye, that it may have been a penalty, but it wasn't. And can Porto hold on? The ball forwards. De Ligt wins the header, cleared away by Porto, who have done so well tonight and deserve so much praise for how poor Juve have been at the back. Porto have been phenomenal defensively. And here's Alexandro. Bernardeschi on the left-hand side. They've got 1 minute and 30 seconds to hold on. Rabiot strikes over the bar. And what a wasted opportunity as Pepe falls to the ground. He looks knackered. Leandro saying he loves this channel. Hopefully we get to 100k. Fingers crossed. We've got to get Anfield Agenda there as well. So if you're not subscribed to Anfield Agenda, go and do that, please. For Craig, for Connor, for me, go over and subscribe to that and subscribe to this one. And Yuvraj quite rightly saying you have to give credit to Porto. Easy Scotty 99. As Liverpool fans, would we take Porto? No, absolutely not. How resiliently they've defended tonight, we would struggle so much to break these down. And they're a threat on the counter too. Don't forget, of course, they will be without Taremi, who was so important for them going forwards for the first leg of that last 8 tie. But they're still going to be dangerous. They're just built so well. They set up so well. And Pepe is so good defensively for them. Here's De Ligt now. Can they hold on? They've got 30 seconds or so to do so. And Diaz wins Porto the free kick. Very well played there. And it's naive from Kuleveski to foul him like that. And I'm sure Porto will take their time on this one. 30 seconds left for them to hold on. What a night here of Champions League football. We saw Dortmund draw 2-2 on the night with Sevilla. They defeated them 5-4 on aggregate. Sevilla apparently very unlucky in the end that it didn't go to extra time. And here we've had extra time. We've had Porto with 10 men since the 49th minute. We've had them hold on. We've had them keep Ronaldo quiet. Ronaldo has had a poor game. And once again, he will go out of the Champions League at the round of 16 stage. Once again, Juventus have fallen short, and it hasn't been a good start to life as a manager for Andrea Pirlo. Juventus disappointed in Serie A, and now they're heading out of the last 16 in the Champions League. Cuadrado on the right-hand side whips a ball in. Last chance now as Kuleveski. It's Pepe there once more to clear away. Cuadrado. They'll get a free kick about 25 yards out. I don't even know what to think now. Is this time for Cristiano Ronaldo? Is this time for something special? Cuadrado stood over it. Yuvraj suggesting Pirlo might be sacked, but here is the cross from Cuadrado. What a save! It was flicked on, and it's still alive. Pepe heads away. Winston McKennie looks to get it back in. Here's Kuleveski. Sarr making sure he doesn't challenge him. It's kept in by Kuleveski. Out for a Porto throw. It's surely it. We've had... And there it is! Porto have produced a shock. They have knocked out Juventus in Turin. In some style, they were down to 10 men. Taremi sent off for a second bookable offence. But Cristiano Ronaldo's Juventus have gone out of the round of 16 stage to Porto, the Portuguese champions, the team that is going to be ever so hard to beat. They set themselves up across the 2 ties so brilliantly in terms of their defensive structure. They were a problem on the counter-attack. Juve, especially tonight, were all over the place defensively. I can see Pirlo and his coaching staff surrounding the referee. They're not happy with that late decision where De Ligt felt that he should have had a penalty. But Juve only have themselves to blame. Ronaldo, who some of you call him the GOAT, he was abysmal tonight. And it's him who made a defensive error in that Juventus wall, who all turn their backs, and it's deflected off Ronaldo and through his legs for what's ended up being the winning away goal for Porto. And what a night of Champions League football. What a night for this channel. 15k. Thank you very much on behalf of me, on behalf of Craig, on behalf of Connor, and I hope you're enjoying the content. What a night. I genuinely cannot quite believe what I have just watched. But Champions League football is absolutely brilliant. And this is why Liverpool needs to be playing in this next season. What a game of football. What a night of football. And Porto have produced a big shock in the Champions League. We may see Ronaldo and Messi out in the round of 16 of this competition. And Porto aren't one to underestimate in the last 8. That is for sure. Thank you very much for joining me. Remember to check out our sponsors, OneFootball. I'm going to get some water to sort out my throat. And we shall see you very, very soon. Check out OneFootball. Subscribe to this channel. Like, share, all of that. Porto are through to the last 8. What a match. What a game. And what a win for the Portuguese Giants. We shall see you very soon. Ta-ra.